What's going on, everybody? I'm joining you here from the Palmer House Inn in Falmouth, Massachusetts, and Dawood is joining us from home.
From home. The state of California this time.
Actual California this time, yes. Instead of California, Maryland.
Right.
Yes. So we've got a very, very full show for you today. Omar will be joining us a little later today, and Stephanie will probably be joining us as she feels like it. But she said she'll be here today. So let's start with what did I have? Well, one, I made the notebook mad, so let me figure out how to close this. Oh, there we go. I still have 2 copies of it open somehow. All right, that didn't end it, so perfect. It is a nice rainy, mild day here in Massachusetts. Yeah, some my folks are going to go deep sea fishing, but the captain said that would not be advised in this weather. So they're going to try for later.
Nice and sunny and warm. A little breezy where I live, but it's always breezy here.
Yes. All right, so I've got this. It's one at the top. What is this? Oh, I didn't want to open it in the same window we're in. Stand by. All right, so why did I call this way? Oh, well, let's share screen with you guys. Oh, we got chat. Who's in the chat? Eddie is right here, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Good morning, Eddie, or afternoon.
Yeah, Eddie.
So I'm going to share a browser tab. It's a little harder on me with one screen. I should have tethered the iPad as a screen to this laptop, but I didn't. So, well, here we go.
Last week, somehow you pulled this off in a Tesla.
In a car, yes.
On the side of the road. So you can make it happen.
In just cellular. All right, so this first one is a tweet between Elon Musk and Squawk Square. And so they were taking a look at their new FSD. They were nervous. And Elon says that the current summon is useful, but it's mostly a fun trick. When we move to summon plus highway driving to a single highway stack, or single FSD stack, it will be sublime. And that was last week. I think it was right after the show. It was on the 17th. And the show was on the 18th. So it was right before the show. So we might have touched on it. And with that one, the current beta testers are confirming that that the highway, and Elon too, that the highway driving stack is now on the same the visual system as the FSD City Streets beta. So what's next is summon, and that will be awesome because our friend Drew, he describes it as a drunken teenager. And he's not wrong.
A drunken preteen.
Right.
So before I met up with you in California, Maryland, my family and I we were in Atlanta. We went roller skating, and it was one of those freak southern rainstorms. I mean, it's just pouring down rain. And I said, I got an idea. I'll just have the car, summons the car from the parking lot over to pick us up under the shade in the rain. Yeah, it didn't work.
Uh-oh. Did it quit or did it do it wrong?
It just pulled halfway out of the spot and then just stopped.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if it was smarter than me because it knew that I didn't have full line of sight.
Right.
And I figured if it made it around the corner, then I would see the car, but it just stopped. I had to run in the rain to rescue the car.
Yeah. I used mine last night at the ice cream parlor. We took the family out to ice cream, and I called it to us to do the Christmas dance. Model X.
Okay.
Yes. And it pulled out of the spot, and it did okay, and then it decided it was going to back up. And it kept backing up, and then it got about this far from another car from my point of view, and I wasn't sure.
Had to cancel it.
Well, I know it could sense the car, but I didn't know if it was how it was going to behave, and it was too close for comfort. So you know how it gets when you do the auto park, where it gets within inches of another car?
Yes.
I don't know how Smart Summon does. I like wide open spaces when I'm outside the car.
Is it going to park or is it going to hit this car?
Right. And I don't want to pay 2 collision bills. And so Bree's asking if it happens often. Typically, it'll either just not go or it will do spectacularly. And every now and again, it'll do like we had, and it'll do either it'll get stubborn like that Woods car, or it'll do like my car, and it'll try to make you guess whether or not it is in a bad mood.
So hopefully the new stack will make a difference and improve the performance.
Yeah, Eddie says he never trusted it. Maybe in 2040. I think it should be better than it is because it's not blind like AutoPark. AutoPark is literally a bat. It's using echolocation, and it's got 8 cameras. So what's the problem?
For me, maybe it was the rain.
Yeah, the rain probably didn't help. Yeah. And is it mostly based on weather? Yeah, it was probably the weather that did it because I was doing it in the black of night, and Dawood was doing it in the rain. Yes. Steffi is here.
But they have to make it work in the rain. That's when people are going to want to use it. It's like it's raining. Let me bring the car over here.
That's the whole advertising. It's like, hey, you don't want to walk to the car.
Hey,
good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're great.
Doing good.
There we go.
Dan the man.
All right, so that was the first article we were talking about with the Smart Summon. And then let me see how I arrange this. This is so hard without 2 screens.
Oh, welcome to the rest of us.
Well, I only have 1 screen at home, but it's really wide, so it feels like 2 screens.
I don't know, working with 3 screens over here.
Right? All right, so let me scroll to the top here. That's for after.
Back from the Supercharger. You said, Dawad, how was your walk back from the Supercharger?
Oh. It was fine.
Yeah.
The girls, they always fight me. They never want to go, but they need to exercise. So we got them up and went.
Nice.
We actually did another walk this morning. That's what I was doing when I was talking, texting with you, Casey, walking back from the charger.
Oh, okay. Bree's giving you a compliment there, Steph.
Oh, yeah.
And so the first item that we've got up for show and tell isn't actually our show and tell, it's just a video. But I'd seen this in the manual and I was confused as to how it was supposed to work because I didn't think about breaking the window. Well, firemen don't have that problem. Let's make this a little bigger for you guys. I do like the touch. That's nice. All right, here we go. I have it on mute because the audio is not what you see. So he breaks the window and then he lifts up the trim. And here is the cut loop for the car. Just like that. Yeah. This is the secondary cut loop on Model 3. Model Y doesn't have this, and Model S and X have it elsewhere. But they all have one under the front trunk. So that's why this was confusing to me, because I didn't have a Model 3 to go pick at to try it out. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right. So what do y'all think of that?
I want that little glass breaking tool he has.
Right? It's very effective.
Pops it and so do they have a manual for every kind of car? Do they have to study this, or how does that work? Is it like an app where you just search which car is in trouble and it shows you how to deal with it?
All of the above. So Tesla publishes the emergency responders guide for each of their vehicles, and then I spoke with have apps that they use. Others have just a big manual of these manufacturer instructions, and it's just whatever works for them. Sometimes they'll just have somebody look up on the website while they're putting out the fire to the car.
Wait, stop using that stuff. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Use the other stuff.
Be surprised how much it works like that.
Right?
It's interesting to me that it's not consistent along all of the Teslas, like that the Y wouldn't also have that. And
well, this is the only car that has a what they call a parcel shelf that is fixed, because on the Y, the S, and the X, they're all hatchbacks, and that structure doesn't exist.
Well,
Yeah, but they all have a frunk, and in the frunk you'll see that orange tab hanging out, and you can you don't have to cut it; you can just unplug it. But at least on the way the Tesla is set up, unlike some of my other EVs, if it is cut, it's only like a $12 part to replace, rather than a whole wire harness.
I guess, but if someone's cutting that wire,
Mhm.
doesn't that mean your battery's on fire?
It means that you've had an emergency response, and they
Okay.
don't want to risk having electric current through the body of the car,
Okay.
and risking yourself or their employees or volunteers. And I'm not upset at it by any means. I'm just their training could say just yank this instead of cut this. But again, they're just things we can replace, and that's what insurance is for. And it works. I mean, it's obviously they're going to cut it, so they made it inexpensive to replace. Should it be not as severe as it appears when they arrive? And if your body shop says, "Oh yeah, we can fix that without total lossing your car," now you can get it back and running.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I'm going to mute you for a second, Dan. Let's see here. The next thing I had was something that we all discussed in a previous. We have these happy hours on Friday, and something that came up there was that sometimes there can be a lack of inclusion and diversity at our favorite automaker. So let's take a look at how they titled this. Exactly. Yeah, they don't even have to break your whole window. I like that part. So I muted you, Dan, because you had background noise, so you can unmute yourself when you're ready. I'm going to share the article.
It's perfectly fine. I expect to be falling over things.
Oh, okay. Glad to see you're okay. So the article was titled, Tesla adopts straightforward and firm stance on employee language and respect. We had discussed some of our, in the past, we had discussed some of the allegations for how they were treating employees of color and women at the company, especially on the factory floor. And I don't want to say it's systemic throughout the company worldwide, but it could have been some shifts in some parts of the plant at Fremont or elsewhere, because there were too many reports for it to not be happening at all. And you never want to blame the victim. And so the fact that they now have an actual policy shows they're taking a step in the right direction to mitigate these bad managers, supervisors, or whoever they were that were allowing this stuff to go on, or even participating in it. So, what do y'all think about that?
To me, it's only news because it's Tesla. I don't know if that makes sense. It's indicative to general manufacturing first line culture as it is. It's just we can look at diversity across the board. They're going to, for lack of a better word, that one token individual, like, oh yeah, we have a black, we have an African American here, we have a Hispanic Latino here, we're going to have this here. For I think for it to truly change and to have that buffer, I think the mentality of the actual system needs to get out of the way of saying we need profits. The mindset of actually believing in the Tesla as a company rather than it's just another job, which is, I think, what hurts a lot of the organizations, is that it's just another job to them. So they'll treat it like it's another job. And until that mindset's changed to something that you actually believe in and that you're dealing with actual other people, it's going to be the same.
So one of the items that we had when we discussed with some folks that were higher up in Tesla that look like we do, and they said that it wasn't perfect. It wasn't as bad as what they saw reported from the folks off the line, but they saw room for improvement. And I think that this recognizing that they have a problem, because a lot of the times you end up with a culture where they don't, it's not happening to us. We didn't grow up that way, so we don't even know that this is a problem. Steph, you've probably seen it in a lot of where folks just don't understand. It's like a boys' clubs, for instance, and they just don't even consider that what they're saying is terrible.
Right. Well, and I think the more telling part is that this is Tesla's first diversity report that they've published, which to me goes beyond in manufacturing, things are predominantly male, or in tech, things are predominantly male. I think that it goes it wasn't a priority to them, you know, and I believe the numbers were like 85% male in leadership positions, 59% white. Like it was, I might be off on the percentages, but is pretty staggering when you consider like the population and the places where, Tesla's at. Like it's just, to me, it's unacceptable. And I would really hope that this initial like diversity report that they're publishing is going to be indicative of a real change in how they are promoting people, how they're recruiting people, and the culture that they allow that either makes people leave or makes people not want to go there. If you can go and get a leadership position at Tesla, you can go and get a leadership position somewhere else that maybe has a better culture. And so I think that part of like, keeping people and promoting them is also just getting them in the door. And they clearly can do a better job of recruiting and retaining women and minorities.
Yep. Good evening, Anders. Yeah. So
Mark's like, no, hi to you.
Maybe his audio settings are so he can't hear us.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, when he comes on and says hello, we'll say hello back. So,
Marcus.
I like to see, like you mentioned, that they did the report and they're actually making steps to change what they learned. We see this in a lot of other companies where they do the report and they don't change anything. Right. They don't even attempt. It's like, well, why did you waste the money on the report? Because they're not easy to compile. And like I mentioned earlier at the start of the story, they are worldwide. So you've got them in Germany, you've got them in Michigan, Texas, and then you've got all of the different stores, shops, and galleries. So it's not just the manufacturing side of it. It's not just the tech side of it. I mean, they're definitely a tech company, but they're also a car company, and more. I mean, you've got Tesla Energy is out there actually replacing people's roofs, so they're a roofing company, and
the energy company do a lot.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on there, and it's good to see that they are looking to make it an equitable employees, and I hope that they continue to do steps, and they, as they do the next report, they have had some improvement and find something new that they can work on and just keep on going. And that's...
I think you really spoke to it, Stephanie, as far as Tesla's need to improvement as far as gender and race equity. I don't know if the report also speaks to age equity. I can, from a personal standpoint, when they changed the UI in the car and made all of the notices really small, I couldn't see it. Yeah. So with a lot of complaints, they ended up changing it and making it bigger. But I bet that if they had a programmer that was over 65, they would have immediately said, "This is too doggone small. People can't see this."
Right, or even one that's just hard of sight.
Right.
Yeah. Robert William, I'm sorry to see that he's still got that hole in the roof. It's going on a couple weeks now. Hopefully you can get the insurance or somebody out there to get that addressed for you. I know that they were being a little stingy on the insurance on him. Hopefully he can get that approved. So coming up next, we've got a tweet from Stargate. Monday. So that's exciting because Marcus is expecting a Model S Plaid with 19s. No, you changed it to 21s.
No, I'm getting custom made 19s from a wheel company.
Okay. Oh, so shipping with 21s, and you're getting your own 19s.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Sorry about that.
No, that's no problem. But I think the 19 is putting people behind because my guy, he's one of my guys I know, he got the 19, but they pushed him back to like October almost.
Yeah, that's what this other guy, Stargazer, saying. He's finally got a date on his. So whatever was holding him up with the 19s has hopefully been solved. Is the Johnson family still in the Tesla board of directors? I'm not sure. I'll have to look deeper into that.
But I can say on the record though, I probably would, by the time my wheels get done and when the car be here, I'm gonna have the first 19 custom wheels for that plat because the 19s from a previous Model S would not fit, they say.
Oh, they changed the bolt pattern. Okay.
No, I think it's something with the brakes and things. And
the brakes are bigger.
The offset and everything is totally off.
Yeah, that makes sense because it has to be, the front wheels on the new Model S are the same size as my rear wheels on my Model X, and it's already staggered, and the rear wheels are monsters. I've got 175s in the back, and that's what the S Plaid has up front, and it has
285s in the back.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So 275 is what I have in the back, and so 275 is what it has up front, and then 285s in the back. Yes. So those are some big old sneakers.
So, Marcus, what's your reason for the 19s? Just for range, or?
No. Well, from what I'm doing this car for, this will be strictly racing, and to get better timing and to get that 200-mile top speed once that software get released soon. You got to have the proper wheels and tires for it. You're not gonna really be able to get that on the 21. You get for racing, lightweight, mainly lightweight. It's all about weight.
Okay.
Weight reduction. So those 21s are some real heavy wheels.
Mm-hmm. So just that adjustment will make a big difference in your racing times.
Correct, and with the right tires too. But I'm running those specifically for different classes I'll be in. Mainly drag slicks. I'm going to be running mainly drag slicks on the 19.
Drag slicks and drag radials, baby. So, Tesla would be awesome there. So let's share this. So there's a company that Tesla bought called Groman Automotive, and they renamed it to Tesla Automation. And they have been making all kinds of automations and robots for the other Tesla facilities, such as Tesla Tool and Die and Tesla Fremont, and even Tesla Giga Berlin and Terra, Texas. And of course, Giga Shanghai, because that thing is shooting out the cars. So Grumman Automotive recently had an expansion started. And just like the Austin and Shanghai facilities, they are going for prefab for quick rollout. And completion. That's pretty cool.
There's never been nothing I don't think Tesla has done slow.
No. Except Elon's timelines.
Yeah. But if he can control the building, then we'd be screwed.
Why?
And your why. And Omar's why.
Can't hear your why.
Oh.
Yeah. When it comes to building out, somebody not connected to Elon just pushes them. They got to keep up with what he's saying. So either they got to do it faster and just make it happen. Somebody's behind him, like, he's going to keep talking, make it happen. It has to be something of that nature, because he puts out things well ahead of what they say he's going to do, and they just are like, I guess we got to go ahead and do this, y'all.
Yeah, he pushes the team
without trying to stop saying that.
He works them hard, and that might be why they have a diversity problem. People under stress don't always mind their words.
If you don't understand Elon, it's going to be that stressful. Once you figure him out, he's going to put us in some situation, and then
right. But you can still be professional when you're stressed, and that's
very true. It takes some learning.
Yes. So the next thing I've got for you is Marcus is going to enjoy this. So Brooks from Drag Times, he wanted to test the mess out of his new Model S Plaid that he got. Apparently, the first one he had was a rental. I didn't even realize that. And so he got a 1.99 second 0 to 60 in his Model S Plaid on the streets. So there's no VHT glue, no prep, no nothing. So all the people complaining, it has to be a specially formulated track. That Tesla used it that way, but apparently you don't have to do it that way. And let's just look at the picture. So he did a 1.99060 and 9.2 quarter mile without the specially prepped track, without all the other garbage that the haters are saying. And just because they test it one way doesn't mean that that it's impossible to do it another way, as Brooks here has proven. And the other thing that he did was he's counting this with the 1 foot of rollout, and his argument for that is that not only does Tesla do it, but Motor Trend does it, and Road and Track do it. A lot of other organizations will show you the 1 foot rollout, so it's not exactly disingenuous in it or deceitful in any way, as long as you're calling out, hey, I did a rollout, and he shows you his numbers without the rollout, so you can say, hey, from a standing start, here's what you actually get from zero. The reason the rollout even exists is because back when we started drag racing cars, we didn't have the technology to measure them until they broke the beam at the track, and when they broke the beam, that's when the timer started. So you got a foot of travel before that happened, and that's why there's a 1 foot rollout. But that's what I got.
Good point.
Yeah. So I mean, we could say, hey, here's the modern time, and we don't need the 1 foot rollout anymore. But there's a lot of things we do with cars that we've been doing since the beginning. So
I just find it impressive that regardless, it's still under 3 seconds. Like,
yes,
either way, your head's gonna be launched into the back of your. You just might as well, like a roller coaster, just leave it back there before it does it. That's the minutia of saying the 1 foot rollout in particular is going to be particularly for, I don't know if you can call an electric person a gearhead or a tech head or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's obscene.
Absolutely. Yeah, Bree. He actually is starting a whole racing company around his new Model S Plaid that's coming in, and there's already a couple of other channels that do race Teslas, but this is going to be exclusively EVs. He's not going to show up with a gas car in the middle of it like some other channels have done.
Or a gas Tesla.
or convert his Tesla to gas like that other person did, which is a cool project, and thankfully is not easy, so we won't see a bunch of polluting Teslas out there. It's polluting and slow, because it is slower than the one that Marcus is getting. All right, so let's look at this next one. I don't know if I wrote the question or if somebody else did the notes. It said, who is going to use new? It's called in the car in the Plaid, but Elon talked about bringing it back to the way that they phrase this is so weird in the title here. The Elon tweet basically said that it's coming to all cars with FSD. So let's look at his tweet. Don't worry about the title. This guy was talking about how his iPhone automatically did some stuff. And then Elon says, you don't even need to touch the shifter in the new S. It'll automatically detect the direction, and it will be optional to all cars with FSD. So even though we have the stock, it will save us one step. I mean, yeah, it's one step, but in my case, it actually is more than a couple seconds, because I get in the car and I'm ready to shift whichever direction, and I'm trying to shift before the car is ready to be shifted. So what I can do now is I can put on my seatbelt, hit the brake, and then, or actually as I'm putting on the seatbelt, I'll hit the brake, and then the car will say, hey, I'm going forward, or hey, I'm going in reverse. There's a big arrow on the screen, and if it picks wrong, then I'll have to shift. I'll say, oh, no, we're not going in reverse today, we're going in drive. But the way it determines that is it looks at how you got there in the first place. Then it looks to see if there's any humans, pets, or obstacles in the way. So if you're facing a brick wall, it's going to move away from the wall, if that's forwards or backwards. If there's a human or pet in the way and there's clear open space behind you, it's going to go the other way. If it still can only go one direction and it's through somebody, it'll tell you which way it wants to go, and then it won't want to go because You have to wait for the being to leave the way. So, other than Marcus and me, who else is going to use this thing?
I can see myself using it, as long as it's updated on all of the models. So I just
Ours with an FSD computer.
All right. So yeah, that's going to be a problem. My ex does not have the hardware 3 computer. But I was driving a Y for the last 2 weeks. And then when I get into my X and I want to get into autopilot, the X is different. You got to pull back twice. The Y you pull down twice. And so now every time I'm on the freeway, I keep pushing down on the gear shifter on my X and wondering why this thing is not going into autopilot. So if they all just had, no stock, then that raises the question: how would I put it into autopilot? We're gonna have to put that on the screen, or maybe I just push the button and ask it go into autopilot.
On the new one, you hit the right scroll wheel on the yoke, and it'll go into cruise control or autopilot. And on the, like you said, on the Y and the 3, you push down twice, and on ours we pull forward twice. So what I'm hoping that we'll see there is that as they give us less reasons to touch the stock, maybe you can push down twice on the drive selector, just like the Model 3 and Model Y, or maybe like the new S, we just double click the scroll wheel, and it'll. I mean, we'll have these stocks that don't do anything or that we don't use. But
get rid of the stocks.
They already have. Marcus's car won't have a stock.
Well, that's what. It would just said right the lightning I was listening to today.
Yeah.
Talking about how many millions Elon would save if there were no stocks on the cars.
Yeah, if the stock costs $5 a piece, and there's 3 stocks on every wheel for us, and there's 2 stocks on every wheel for the Model 3 and Model Y, times 1 million cars.
That's just starting to talk about real money.
Yeah.
But the most important question, though, is then how do you activate the Rainbow Road Easter egg if you don't have a stock?
I guess you hit it 4 times, or if you are in Singapore, you don't, because Rainbow Road was just removed in their latest update.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Their safety board made them remove Rainbow Road, the remainder of the games, and a couple other features. Even though you can't use half the features while you're driving anyway, because you can't watch a movie and drive at the same time.
Why can't you? No, but
because the software won't let it.
But you can't. Once Rainbow Road is activated, you can't turn it off. That's one thing I don't like.
Yeah. Well, you can just activate it again. It'll turn off. Yeah, absolutely. So
that's why I like this show. You learn so much,
right? So Bree's asking if that kills the battery, and it won't actually, because the car is built to be able to race like that. It might not last as long as a car that isn't raced, but it's built to handle it, and it will do it for many years. There's people who are still racing the original P85, and they do just fine. Let's see. And Michael wants to know if you're getting a model for a family of giants. Absolutely. The Cybertruck was actually designed to fit Andre the Giant in every one of the 6 seating positions. So you have 6 seats that can hold Andre the Giant. You'll be fine. The only thing you have to worry about at that point is stop touching me. He's on my side.
Then it should be wide enough for nobody could be able to get that close, hopefully.
Well, they have arms.
You can smack those away. Once they start holding tablets, they shouldn't be like this. That's when I test driven the 3, most of all the cars minus the wider ones. When you get into a sedan with a Graco car seat, those are by no means a small thing. So at the back of the X, it shapes down like this, and then putting both kids back there with a Graco car seat, they're literally like they can start sharing tablets, like flipped between each other. There's no space.
Well, don't forget they did redo the interior of the S, so we gotta wait and see once somebody gets a car seat in that one.
Yeah. I mean, now if you get to those smaller car seats, the little $15, $20 ones you can pick up at Walmart and throw in the back for a kid, those are easier. But the convertibles, oh yeah, those are tough to fit. So it's going to be interesting.
So our friends at Lucid Motors have highlighted what their service options are going to be and their warranty details ahead of the Lucid Air deliveries. I am going to either myself or Purcell. We're going to try and get down there. Purcell is really excited about the one that's opening in DC, so he will probably be there days before I even get myself up to the showroom. Not that I'm not excited to go see it, but he's more excited. So yeah, just kind of information you'd want to know before you spend over $100,000 on a car like the Lucid Air. Basic vehicle warranty is the same as Tesla at 4 years, 50,000 miles. Their powertrain is 8 years, 100,000 miles as required by the state of California. The high voltage battery is only 8 years and 100,000 miles, but they're guaranteeing 70% of the capacity. So that matches Tesla's current warranty, but it doesn't match their initial 8-year unlimited mile warranty. And it also doesn't match anybody else's. A lot of other people are doing it matches exactly everybody else's. It doesn't, except for the folks that are in California. Some of the manufacturers that are selling there are doing 8 years, 150,000 miles on the battery. This isn't terrible by any means. It's like, as I'm saying, it's matching everybody, so it's not unheard of. It's just, I would expect a new company to try and make you see confidence in them where they would do better than what's out there, like how Tesla did with their 8-year unlimited when it came out.
And probably stand different from a little people, stand out a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Stand out a little bit to show, to make people want to focus more there.
Right. So like the body and paint repair, 4 years unlimited, that's pretty cool, because most places, once you take the car off the lot, unless it is clearly a like the robot missed painting a spot or the primer didn't adhere, they're like, yep, nope, you're on your own. So I'm curious if that's what that is, or if they're going to be a little more, because the unlimited in 4 years of body and paint repair, if it's not that, it'll be interesting. And the corrosion and perforation, that is exactly what I was talking about before, where if it's done incorrectly from the factory, they'll take care of you. 10 years is nice there. I think that matches Toyota. And the 4 years unlimited, I think that matches most of the regular brands as well. This is new to me, though, the supplemental restraint system. I don't know I've ever seen that called out specifically, because usually that's just as long as the car is within its 10 or 12 years of required support, they just take care of you with you. Oh, your seatbelt broke? Okay, here's a new seatbelt. But it seems odd they're putting a number on it.
Hey, Chase, let me ask you the corrosion deal. Would that be more? Would that be more for like places that have salt and so on? You would say, or what?
No, it's anywhere. If they didn't apply the corrosion inhibitor correctly at the factory, it will rust. And then if you can prove that was their fault and not that you ran over some rocks and it broke the paint, then they'll take care of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let me ask you one thing before you leave off. Did you mention, I probably missed it though, did you mention about the Tesla tweet about the steering wheel?
No, not yet, but it is on the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Michael says he rocks 3 of those and a booster. Let me get that truck in flat black. Absolutely. So right now it comes in stainless steel, and Elon has talked about allowing us to have colors. My favorite is that it starts at just $39,000. That's incredible for, it's more vehicle than Model 3, unless you want to be able to park in Europe, for instance. I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, the only thing that makes sense is that he keeps saying how much cheaper it is to manufacture this thing. So I'm wondering if like the nice, smooth, swoopy body versus the hard, strong, angular APC is just that much difference in cost to build that he's able to do that. But either way, I'm excited.
I was just on the Facebook thread today, and they were discussing that. Can that price really be sustained?
Yes.
Somebody just asked how can he really make the car, that truck, for that price? And it's talked about how it's more.
He did go to school. He did go to school for business. I mean, well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to plan out your what the mission is. Then you get your cost of goods. I believe him when he said, because he's hit every one of his price points so far.
The cost of goods are not what they were when this thing was.
This is true. This is very true.
A few years back.
But hopefully it's under their 25% profit margin, and they can just eat it for a couple weeks until the supply comes back. But I'm excited about it. So one of these days, you just go on the website and say schedule a test drive, and they'll accommodate you. And as Omar found out, if you schedule one that coincides with when they're going to be closed, you might get an extra day.
That's right. I've done that too. Before you
I
get
did
too
that
far away
a couple
from,
times. Yeah, go ahead.
oh, warranty.
Yeah.
My car's under that 8-year unlimited warranty,
Same.
and that's why I have to figure out how I'm gonna handle the Cybertruck, because it won't make sense for me to trade my car in while it's still under unlimited warranty.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's got to figure that out.
But at the same time, when your Cybertruck comes in, if the car is still under that warranty, you can say, "Hey, look, I've still got this much warranty." Whereas the blue one you're looking at does not have that warranty, and it's that beautiful red.
And it is the red.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, do you think do you see the truck going up eventually though?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because every single time this dude has hit the low price he promised, and then he says nobody wants it, and he cancels it. I'm like, wait, what?
like the plus.
Like the plus. That one was even weirder because that one was more money, and he's like, nobody wants it, and he cancels it. It's like, wait, everybody wants that.
I had a tri-motor. I switched it to the dual motor.
That's more sensible. I like that. Yeah.
I don't tow anything, so I forgot what I need a tri-motor for.
Yeah.
So switch it to the dual. But he's probably going to get rid of the single motor.
So you're starting to tow something.
Right. Exactly, Bree. So what you want to do is, I keep saying this again and again, if you see a Tesla configured the way you like at a price that you're comfortable with, get it now. Because next thing you'll see is they'll have discontinued an option you want. They'll raise the price. They'll lower the price. But either way, what you were looking for is gone. So like right after we got our car, the unlimited supercharging was gone. The internet for life was gone. The air conditioned seats were gone. Our color was canceled before the car even got on the truck. I mean, if you see it, just hit that buy it now button.
Yeah.
Assuming that everything is right and you can afford it. Obviously, don't over Tesla stretch. The Tesla stretch, for those who aren't familiar, is where you go up like a half a car or a whole car from where you normally would go. You don't want to go up 2 cars. So there's the Tesla stretch, and then there's just like trying to be flossing in front of people. Just keep it in reason. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Dan.
Does anybody think that the Lucid warranty service is going to go the way of Tesla when they get enough vehicles on the road?
What do you mean?
Okay, so most of the Tesla owners here we have all heard horror stories between the warranty.
Are you talking about the quality
service? Yes.
Well, that's everybody. I mean, like most of the dealerships, most of the service centers that people are complaining about, like my local one, they are full of people from BMW, Mercedes, Porsche in that area, and so you're going to get the same quality of service that you get at those dealerships from your local Tesla store. Except for mobile service has always been great. I don't know how they managed to be completely separate like that, but I just wish that they would transplant some folks from mobile service and make the other one better.
And see, that's another thought process. I looked in the article. They said they're going to train them in-house. Do you think they're going to pull them from, they tend to headhunt, so you think they're going to pull a lot from Tesla? Mm-hmm. So they don't have to start from the scratch up?
Probably so.
So
what I was getting at with that point there was that so you find that you have the same quality of service. So like that same complaints that everybody that uses that Tesla shop complains with, at BMW in that area, they have the exact same complaints. Except that, they didn't say anything about, they put me in an Uber. Like, the loaner was dirty, or they didn't even give me a loaner. They said I had to go rent my own car. So it's
right.
It's the same complaints. Let's see.
Back to what Bree was asking about with Get It Now.
Yeah.
I wonder if Tesla does this on purpose to defeat the Osborne effect.
Yeah.
If you can wait, but what you want, it won't be there.
Yep. Michael, like I said, it's got to be the one that's already in the budget, because I don't have another one in budget. Sorry. As much as I would like a Model X Plaid, I don't know how I can work it off right now. Has to be the tri-motor for me, the trailer, and the mountains. Yeah. The thing about the tri-motor that I like is that 14,000 pound towing capacity, but even the dual motor is good at 10,000 pounds towing capacity. So just get what's in budget. Then Bree said, I know, right? They should get a commission on how many Teslas they sell per video, because I'm convinced. Yes. So I'm in Virginia, not right at the moment, but I'm in Virginia. So use Dawood's code. Use to purchase your Tesla, and then they each get 1,500 supercharging miles, and you get 1,500 supercharging miles. or if you don't get it anytime soon, you get whatever the current promotion is. So at one point, I got 2 Tesla Chargers signed by Elon Musk. They weren't actually physically signed; they were decals, but they were special editions. And our friend Purcell, he got himself a Powerwall. So it just whatever the current one is, you want to make sure that you use somebody's code so that you get something out of it and they get something out of it.
I think it's only 1,000 now, but
it's down to 1,000. Damn.
It's 1,000 now, but I've got 2 trips to Southern Cal coming up, so I could certainly use those free miles if you want to use my code.
Right? Indeed. Okay, so the next article was let me no longer had to walk from Warrington to Wexham. Dad's 99 years old. That service man was. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, we also have some experience with that. It happens and it's not good. All right, so this one is about our German friends. Volkswagen announces a new midsize ID.8 crossover, and it doesn't look half bad. Hopefully, it doesn't get panned like all of the other Volkswagens for being reasonable or not having a front trunk. Sandy Monroe was pretty hard on them about that. He's like, so for those who don't know, Sandy Monroe is a teardown artist. He he reverse engineers people's cars, tells them how to make them better. And after every other electric car he's torn down has had a front trunk, and he opens up the Volkswagen and all he sees is just plastic and components, he was super disappointed. They didn't even like there's one car where it only has enough space in the front trunk for a piece of paper. He's like, not even that. It's just a hood, just like a regular gas car. He was so disappointed. But like I said, it is a sensible car, and it wasn't meant to be fast. It's got reasonable range. It wasn't meant to be high tech, so the navigation and stuff is a little slow. But because it's a sensible Volkswagen, it was cost effective, and like I said, they were able to save some of that money on some of the cool stuff to put it back into range, because other budget cars don't always have the range you come to expect from, say, Tesla, Ford, and the others. What do y'all think about the way this thing looks?
I love it. I'm a fan of the Atlas, though, and I think that more electric SUVs that can comfortably seat like more than just 4 or 5 is definitely needed, and I can totally see this being like a big seller for them, because not everyone is going to want a Tesla, and not everyone is going to want to pay for that X price tag. And the ID.4 was really comparable to their Tiguan level.
Yes.
So if this is comparable at all to the gas Atlas, I think that this will be like a huge seller for them. I really like it, and I love that they're getting bigger, so that they can be more like family friendly, and we can getting, when there's a line in front of the elementary schools at pickup, they're not all, spouting fumes, and I would just love to see it. I think it's going to be a great family car, a great fun, sporty 7-passenger car. So
exactly. Yeah, so all these 3 rows are really important, because we've got the low end covered as far as a nice city car, and then we've got the Tesla and the Porsche that have 3 rows, but that's a budget buster, especially the way that Tesla keeps raising the prices. So it'd be nice to have another 3-row option that isn't trying to be an Audi, Porsche, or Tesla. Not that Tesla is trying to be pricey; it's just they are where they are. So to have somebody who can come in with the volume and lower the price, not only will that keep Tesla competitive, but it'll also give people more options, because while Tesla is willing to come down in price, I don't see Porsche and the others trying to do the same.
This looks like generic gas Volkswagen, which completely turns me off, but will turn a lot of people on. Everything that they don't like about Tesla, they'll love about this car. It's not super high tech. It's really it's just a car, but it happens to be electric. So I think it's a move in the right direction to get another tranche of customers. But what are we looking at the price range for this?
I don't recall. I looked it up a week ago. So Bree says she's noticing more Superchargers now. Do you think that there will be a time where all drivers go electric? I don't know about 100%, but like literally, yes. This will be the only option going forward in a number of years. In Europe, for instance, by 2035, you won't have a choice of buying a brand new combustion car at all. And in some states in the U.S., it's 2035.
Same in California.
Yep. And all the states that follow the California missions, like Virginia and Michigan. Yeah.
Well, real quick, the crazy thing I've noticed, I had to rent some of the newer model gas cars, and it jumped on what Stephanie was saying earlier. A lot of schools have a no idle policy, so you basically have to cut the car off every time. So when the line starts happening, I've done this maybe once or twice with my child. But when the line starts happening, you have to crank it up, drive forward, and then if there's like
turn it back up.
You got to turn it off. Now the crazy thing is a lot of the newer vehicles like a Jeep Compass, any one of those American brands, they're having an automatic shuttle. So anytime you drop below maybe 1,000 RPMs, they cut off automatically. What's annoying is that it does this at, say, a stop sign or a stoplight.
As it should.
Don't need it. But the crazy thing is, if you have this no idle because of the carbon monoxide from an ICE vehicle, then why not go electric? It's
because electric at the time that they came up with the no idle rules was a significant, any minimum of $10,000 uplift, and for a car that wasn't as capable at the time. Or you were looking at a Prius, which came with its own technological bump up because Toyota wanted their money back. they invested a lot of money in it and were selling them at a loss.
That's why I still find amazing people who have kids who, like Stephanie said, you're concentrating the carbon monoxide to what you don't want in your kids, and then you have the ICE cars that cut off just instinctively. They're programmed to do it. It's annoying as crap on my end. And then
only the ones that can't keep the AC running.
And it's weird. No, the AC still runs. It just
there's some that don't run the AC when they stop, and it's oof.
Yeah, so why not just say, hey, we encourage you to buy electric, or if your kid is in the school district, you get $100 off. It's
because they make money selling fossil cars, so they don't have any incentive to change it. They just make the engine cut off, and they keep doing what they've always been doing for 100 years.
Dan, eventually all cars will go electric. It's just a matter of time. It's just change takes time. Change takes time.
It's just amazing to me how they want to be healthy for the kids and then just keep polluting everywhere else.
Right.
Well, that's a money issue. That's more money than anything else, really. Well, that and supply. Because remember, in order for all cars to go electric, you still have to have enough batteries to create enough cars. Right now, they can't create enough cars. Really, they can't keep up with demand right now anyway, as it is, because of the chip shortage and other part shortages that they have right now. Yeah. But
they're sold out in September.
Even when they solve that issue, there's no way in the world that any manufacturer is going to have enough batteries to keep up with the demand for vehicles right now, right this second as it stands.
Are they recycling batteries?
That's why everybody's making more factories.
Yep.
Tesla's making more factories to make more batteries and expanding.
Are they currently recycling batteries as it is now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they can recycle batteries, but like
Tesla and Toyota were recycling from their first electric car. So the Prius, when the Prius came out, they opened up a battery recycler. When the Roadster came out, they opened up a battery recycler. So, yeah, they're doing the right thing.
I feel your frustration though, Dan. I mean, I'm all EV, been all EV for a long time now, and when you see that how much better it is,
yes.
Not having to deal with gas at all. And you just wonder, why isn't everybody doing this? And you look at all the things that Omar is saying, you look at regulations are pushing this out until like 2035, or Robert Williams is saying 2030. But it's just like, why not now? Just make it be now. But it just can't be now. So
it really
frustrating.
When Stephanie said it, I'm like, it's your kids. It's literally your kids. Like,
but we've seen these people throw their kids to the wolf over the last year. They don't care.
So yes, the kids looking out for the future.
It's for a lot of people, the car that comes to mind when they think of electric vehicles are Teslas, and they're thinking of the S and the X, and so they immediately price themselves out of looking. And back to Dawad's question about how much the i8 is, they're estimating that it's going to start at 45 with 3 trim levels, but a max of 55. But if you think about it, at 45, if we still have the federal rebates for them, that makes it cheaper than the gas version. And so I think that as people start, as the charging stations for people who can't have them in their homes, as they become, more available in all communities here and abroad, I think that it's really just going to be like, financially, I can't afford to buy the gas car.
Yeah.
Expensive and more expensive to maintain, and the price of gas we see is continuing to go up. But I mean, I think that a lot of people, they're not even considering electric because they think that they can't afford it, and they really don't appreciate the fact that long term they're way more affordable, and like the ID8 is going to be cheaper than the Atlas, which is. And though Dawad is like, it looked like a regular ass, like that's what's going to draw people in. They're
They don't want it to look different.
They don't want it to look
different. Drawn into the Lightning for sure.
But my note is going to be $200 less or whatever. It's not going to have gas, and it's going to charge. It's going to cost me $8 a month to charge it at home or wherever. And so I just think like as more and more manufacturers are introducing options into the market, that you have the Cybertruck that's not, that physically it's not appealing to me, or aesthetically it's not appealing to me, but other people are like, oh, I love it, and then there are other people that are like, nope, I want the regular F-150, looks like a regular gas truck, and I love it, and so once there's options for everybody and at all different price points, I think that we'll begin to see like, okay, we really are going to move to all electric, and gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and like Robert Williams points out that there are a lot of people who are suffering from pollution that it wasn't even their fault, and only 55. Ouch. And so to Stephanie's point, in Norway right now, you have to basically, if you want to get full price for your fossil car, because they've got their mandate coming up. I hear somebody's TV. Because they've got the mandate coming up where they have to do the 2035 combustion car ban. If you want to get full price for your used car, you have to basically take a vacation down to mainland Europe, sell your car, and then go back to Norway. Otherwise, you're going to get a significant discount because nobody in Norway wants to be the bag holder when this thing goes down.
Wow.
Yeah. But now that mainland Europe has got the same 2035 coming up, what are you going to do? Go to Russia?
So as far as that goes, like if you look at the total cost of ownership,
I mean, it's
if you look at the total cost of ownership, right now as it stands, the EV compared to a comparable gas car, they're about on par with each other. The EV probably makes a little bit more sense at this point. Going forward, as the price of the EV comes down a little bit, just a hair, now it becomes advantageous to get an EV. The total cost of ownership is going to be way lower, and that's just going to get better and better over time. So it's going to be to everybody. And the problem is, again, like I said, the biggest problem that we're going to have is we need to be able to produce millions of cars per year, because there's millions and millions of cars sold every year, vehicles sold every year worldwide, right? Just millions of them. And right now, there's just no. I think the biggest holdup is going to be the batteries right now. I mean, that's going to be solved eventually, but for right now, it's going to take a couple years, which is why you see all these restrictions happening 2030, 2035 or whatever, because they realize it's going to take some time before we get to that level where there's enough of them being produced where everybody will be able to strictly buy only EVs.
Right. Yep. Right. That infrastructure is still not there. Now, I had a funny experience as I hanging out with my family this past week. I exposed them to the Tesla I rented on Turo, and people in my family who know I'm all Tesla still did not know that the 3 is under $40,000, and the Y is like $50,000. People think that all Teslas are $150,000.
Exactly.
Once you say Tesla, you're buying $100,000 car. Like, no, that's not how much these cars cost. Not only that, I had a patient who's actually moving to Norway, and I pointed out to her, I said, "Oh, Norway, I'm so excited because it's like the EV per capita capital of the world. And like there's more EVs than anywhere else." Yeah. And she starts spouting FUD to me. She say, "You know those batteries? They don't know if they dig a hole and stick the batteries in." She asked me, what happens to these batteries when they're done? And I said, "Well, do you ever ask what happens to your gasoline when you're done with it?" That's the question I ask now when they ask about these batteries.
So I would
ask what happens to all the oil after you do all your oil changes.
Exactly. But not only that, I would point out that even the deadest of these batteries, assuming they haven't caught fire, is worth tens of thousands of dollars. Who digs a hole and shoves $20,000 in the hole?
The funny thing about this, and I've talked myself into a promising hole with this. I mentioned this a few times. My daughter's dojo, the lead instructor, it's a family run thing. So the only electric she knows is the 100 miles, the 50-mile ones, the commuter cars. Her one of her sons is very much ready for that jump, but he thinks it was a Halo car also because he was, he assumes they're 100,000. The crazy thing is, because my wife's been around me too long, she immediately starts spouting, "Yeah, this is below 45. I looked at her like, I'm so proud of you." Starts, spinning out these. And I'm like, yeah, the secondary market is huge. They've been out since 2013. And he's so enamored with it. And then I showed him that Tesla that's up in 2020, that's up in New York. And he was like, "Oh, so you're going to get it? I need a test drive." And I'm like, okay, I guess I have to go get it then, because you're going to bug me until you do it. He's so ready to do it, and he's telling his family he's going to give us a test drive and he's going to tell us this. I'm like, can you not tell me into a space like this, please? But it's a difference between how they have it. And funny thing, his mom has a Mustang, so her to see a Mach-E, if I can get Sergio around, then it'll be interesting to see.
Sergio just messaged me. So Robert Williams brings up a great point that there are these $5,000 Chinese cars. So assuming that it's street legal in your jurisdiction, you don't have to. I mean, like we saw the Candy was what, 10,000 after the tax credit. The Candy is fully certified, and it's not a punishment mobile. I mean, it has power windows, it has a Bluetooth connection, it's got USB charging.
What is a punishment mobile?
It's not like a modern Lada.
It's not like manual windows. And,
right.
Like you're punishing yourself to drive that thing. Like
right. I mean, it doesn't have everything. It doesn't have it doesn't have a screen.
Mobile.
It doesn't have a screen, but I mean, do you need a screen if you're price sensitive? It's got a 100-mile range.
So for commuter cars,
yeah,
it's practical, right?
Yeah. Right. And then we got all the upcoming cars.
What's funny is, so two of my coworkers just recently ordered Cybertrucks after I was explaining to them what the specs are and the price. They thought the price, because it's a Tesla, is automatically 6 figures. And I'm like, no, not at all. And then when I told them pricing and what they go for and what their specs are at each price level and all that, they were like, "Oh man, I'm gonna go ahead and place an order right now." I'm like,
right?
Really? Did that just happen?
Did you use my code? Yeah. So I've got another one from another Musk. Share this tab, and this one was a fun little one. Elon called it a full duration static fire, but I disagree because it was like a 3-second burn, and you're gonna need to burn for a minute to get to space, baby. But that was fun, and they all worked. They didn't have, because a lot of these static fires, they have something go wrong with them. So this is the first Starship, or in this case Starship Super Heavy, but the first Starship system that didn't have a retry. So that was pretty cool that it worked the first time.
I think the fun part about watching SpaceX is that when something fails, you're like, what happened? Or you're surprised more than anything because it's gotten so fluid. Then again, I like to see Starship. A to be successful because it looks so gracefully when it's trying to use fins and flop around, and you're like, are they going to pull this off? And then it's like an experiment. Basically, it is a scientific experiment. So the fun thing, rather than watching the giant thing of a private part that's flying into space by Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin, or has Richard Branson got to the edge of space yet? But
yeah, Richard Branson actually went before Bezos.
Okay.
So like the funny thing is, I've seen a picture of them all their vehicles lined up next to each other for size, and like with the size comparison, and like Starship is like it's ridiculous how big it is compared to like Blue Origins or Virgin Galactic or Blue Origins. It's comical, really, and it's like, okay, they have a nice little toy that they're going up to the edge of space and coming back down in. But here we are with something that's going to like get us to Mars. It's totally not even in the same category.
Right. And then don't forget the Inspiration 4 mission is about to happen, where they're sending 4 people in orbit for 4 days. Not for 4 minutes to the edge of space. Into space for 4 days.
Like actual orbit. Right.
Yes.
And the weird thing is, I feel safer with their track record of doing spaces. What Elon does, I feel safer blind testing with what he has than anybody else, because he's consistently done it.
But it's not even blind. It's not even blind. He's been ferrying astronauts to the space
it's
station.
Not that. It's when people say I don't trust that because they haven't done it yet. Like, we can buy a Tesla sight unseen.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of the track record. I can sit here and go win the lottery. I'm like, how much is a ticket? I'll go, just because I know if you can launch an astronaut from NASA and successfully make it there, that's good enough for me. I'm not trusting Branson or Bezos just because I'm bored with what money I have. I'll go. No, Elon's trying to push something. Everything he does is like, okay, you've real world tested it enough for me to just go, okay, I'll go. And he has to test the boring tunnel for me before I'm like, yeah, let's go. But everything he's committed to, it's like once it hits, it's like, I'll go. He's testing.
So Nikki points out, Nikki from Transport Evolve points out that the processor shortages have affected the ID4 supply as well. So that ID8 might be a little slower to market than we would hope.
They don't have.
That's pretty much affecting everybody. So
it's everybody. It's
no
everybody.
shot there.
Yeah.
Except for that PlayStation 5 chip in the Plaid.
Well, I mean, when you're the only automaker aside from Toyota that's not canceling your orders for chips, you get to stay at the front of the line. Mm-hmm. You cancel your order, you got to go get back in line again.
So yeah, that's under the expected. You're talking to
hey, maybe that's what happened to Rivian.
maybe.
I mean, they could be supply constraint. Supplies are hard to come by.
They could be.
The crazy thing is, in the middle of the pandemic last year, I still find it crazy that Elon managed to do things like get the parts for trying to create new ventilators. He pushed the Grab stuff. Like, he was pushing past customs or using his Gigafactory, shipment to shipment stuff to actually get processes here for his HVAC people to be like, can we switch some of this over to something else? That capability for them to switch that easily, it's something that speaks to the company besides the other intricacies that happens.
So Eddie was asking about the Renault Zoe.
The Zoe, the US version of the Zoe is the Nissan Leaf.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that.
That's basically the same car.
Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah.
Yeah, the Renault and the Nissan, they're like sister companies, kind of like like Kia and Hyundai, right?
Yeah.
And the Leaf and the Zoe, same thing.
Hmm.
So that's the different. That's the US version, basically.
Gotcha. So as I was touched on earlier, so the Model 3 supply is getting thinner. And so now they're sold out through the end of September in the US, or is the beginning of September, and end of September, and yeah.
I think that it's. I mean, the demand is so that again, like I was saying, the demand is there. It's trying to keep up with production. That's the hard part. Trying to produce enough of these things. They were sold out of the Model Y for this quarter, like weeks ago. It's like everybody's dates are pushed all the way back to October, and it's crazy. I'll have my Y tomorrow, but
That's
that ain't my fault. You could have had yours.
Oh, I totally missed that look.
Ain't my fault, Steph.
I just imagined that look right away. And I looked away and I knew what it was.
Let me ask you all right quick. How many times you all date change, you would say?
Every day.
So yeah, they recalculate it like every day. Like every day you go check it, they give you a different date.
I don't have that.
Actually, they don't even give you a date. They give you a range.
I don't even have that anymore. So I'm wondering if that means that I'm super close, because there's no dates. They said that they'll let me know when I need to sign the paperwork.
Yeah, so they'll probably call you in like 2 days, like, hey, you want to come pick it up right now?
I know. I get here in an hour.
Out of town.
We're going to send you to the end of the line again, right?
Yeah, they'll be like, get here by closing. Or you go to the end of the line.
Oh, you're not in town? We'll leave it in the driveway. Oh, you don't want us to do that? End of the line.
That's what happened. That's what happened to me.
That's what happens when it's super, super, super high demand.
Wait, so because I
people waiting for it
anymore, and it's just telling me to wait on contract, then
you're probably super close. That's probably what it is.
They're probably waiting for the next person to get bumped for taking a minute too long. And
right.
Car.
If the next person can't pick it up that day, there you go.
Yeah, no, I'm like, man, I wish there was a way that I could be like, look, I know I said that I wanted black, but really I'll take any color. I'm just tired of waiting. They
used to have that.
I didn't want white, but I'll take them added on. Like I really at that, like I keep looking at like inventory available because I'm like, it was telling me October and I ordered in April. So I'm like, that's just for the bird.
In fact, they did it to Marcus. They're like, do you want wood? He's like, I don't want no daggum wood.
Wood? Well,
first they were like, oh, the plus is canceled. Do you want this? Do you want just the regular plaid?
Before the plus was canceled.
No, they called on a Thursday. They called on a Thursday evening and said, hey, Mr. Campbell, if you want to take prior delivery, you can get the plaid because the plus going to be by the end of the year or beginning of next year. And I was like, no, I'll just wait. But then come that Sunday, that's when Elon tweeted the plus been canceled. I'm like, why did you?
Yeah, I interrupted you in the middle of something. He's like, what? He had to stop and sit down for a minute.
I did.
He's like, come again?
You're like, wait a minute. They just called me Thursday. What you mean 2 days later it's canceled? Like,
and then
I showed him the Elon tweet. I'm like, here's Elon's tweet.
And then last month they called me and said, Mr. Campbell, now this is on the plus now. They said, well, if you want wood instead of carbon fiber, we can, you can get delivered fast. I said, no, I want carbon fiber because of weighting things, and the seats I'm getting custom done gonna be carbon fiber racing seats. So I didn't want that. They were gonna be doing too much. So I was like, no, I'll just wait like that. So because I learned to be patient with them now. But and then showing up, that was the Thursday. Then the Sunday night around 8:30, I get a text message from Tesla saying you've been assigned a VIN number. So I'm like, oh, they just told me Thursday that I have to wait because of the wood. I guess there's a shortage on carbon fiber. So I called my insurance the next day or whatever, which is a Monday because I'm off my day job. I'm off my job on Monday. So I got on Monday, and I guess they were trying to get the quota in before the 30th, and they was rushing me. They was like almost pretty much like count Sunday as a business day. I'm like, you guys just notified me Sunday night at 8:30 via text message. Like, ain't no places open, ain't no companies, ain't no banks open, or my insurance is not open. So it was just it's a learning experience. They give you, when they said they give you 3 days or so, but count Sunday is not a business day. I don't care what nobody's saying.
They're lucky they didn't come back to you and say, Tesla insurance is open on Sunday nights. They were smart enough not to say that.
So what they did, they put me back. I just told them because I was getting frustrated because they kept text messaging me. Yeah, I think it was kind of like harassing if you said they like, well, if you can't do it by such and such, we're gonna have to pass it along. And
they got you on a business trip. Yeah.
Right. And I was out on business because I was like, I'm not in Austin at the time, but I just couldn't do it. I would love to, but I just can't do it. I'd rather, I get the stuff to you, whatever. But they was rushing in, and I guess they were trying to get that quote in for the 30th. I was told.
Imagine the guy who did the car before you, where they were rushing him, and then it fell through straight to you.
June?
Yeah.
What's that?
Was that end of June?
Yes.
That's what me too. I had it on my was end of August.
That's that end of the quarter push.
Yeah, and then at the end of June, randomly, like I get a text message like, "Hey, come get it. It's ready." And I'm like, I'm out of town. Like you no notice. I thought I was.
You know why you got such short notice, Steph?
Why?
Because somebody else couldn't take it, and they were trying to give it to you because somebody else couldn't do it. And then that's why it was such short notice. And then when you couldn't do it, they were like, "Poop, next person." It was that end of the quarter push where they're just trying to push them out and get rid of them all of them.
They sent the intern to dig through the couch cushions. And we found two. call up Steph and that other person.
Hold on, listen to this funny story though. After that, so I told KC about this. It was funny. I was watching a guy on YouTube video doing, everybody doing their views on the platter. They showing the lunch and
Yeah.
And I realized that I can tell you about the Hills. It's a part of Austin called the Hills. The Hills. And I was like, that's a guy. That looked like Austin. It was the guy was doing the car and everything, the same specs that I did. That I picked. So I just have number. In this video. I emailed him. I said because I had a VIN number. Remember they gave me a VIN number that's funded. So I said by chance the VIN matched and blah blah. And the guy was like. He was like, "Wow, that's my VIN number." I basically had the car that I had.
He's showing off your car on YouTube.
They passed it along. I was like, "Oh my god!" I just explained to him what happened because he was like, he was trying to figure out how to email him about a VIN number that he owned now.
Right.
So I told him that was the case, and it was just so fun because it's just something about that car. I kept looking at the video. I said, "Man, that could have been," because he said Austin. I said, "Yeah, they passed it along." I couldn't take it that day, so they got it to him. So that put me back in line. I was like. But the guy was like, that is so strange, I was like, ironic that was. I was like, that was the car I'm supposed to have right there. So now
the same thing happened to me. Like I originally had a VIN number and everything. I was supposed to take delivery to while I couldn't take it on that weekend, and they gave it to somebody else, and I ended up with a different car, different VIN number.
Mm-hmm. But Marcus, was his video better than the one you would have made?
No, it was long. It was a 30-minute video.
Can I be honest? And then not trying to help. Not really, because it's a lot of people got that car and not using it for what they really can do, I would say.
Right.
For example, he's trying to launch plaid in the middle of traffic, which I don't think is safe to do at all. Like, that's in a traffic light with traffic is going. Like, that's a no-no. I'm like, that don't make no sense, but not really, But no, I would have did it better, though.
Yours would have been
better. But like I say, I learned to be patient, though, because what that does, that give me, like I say, I'm getting some wheels that's taking, it was going to take about 3 months to get made, custom built. So everything's going to come in line, and I'm getting custom parachute made. So by the time everything get here, and it doesn't fall a lot. But I just don't like those because they give me anxiety because now my date said August the 2nd through the 16th. Now today it said August the 5th through the 19th. I just hate to keep changing like that.
So there's been waiting on their vehicles for 2 years for their Teslas.
But
folks who were waiting on the Tesla semi.
They were in for a long wait. When I ordered mine, waiting. It was supposed to be 4 to 8 weeks, and I'm well past that.
You know what this means, though? If the semi is going into production, that means those 4680 cells must be ready.
Exactly, because there's no other battery cell they've ever talked about putting in this vehicle except the 4680 cans, and. So the axles are and so this is a good sign because you don't want to have half a truck just sitting around for half a year. So that means that they are imminent on building the whole thing and getting it out. At least the test units. So we know that Tesla's going to be the first customer. We know that Pepsi is going to be the first, or claims that Pepsi is going to be the first company outside of Tesla to use these vehicles. And then of course all the crash test vehicles. So this will be exciting because.
I thought Tesla was already using them in-house.
They were using the prototypes, but they said they're going to be using the production models too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, where did
Walmart
building these in Sparks?
DHL.
Actually, I think these are coming out of Fremont, but they will be coming out of Sparks when it's done, and in Austin.
Okay.
Hey, I heard some Walmart put a big order in too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there were a lot of companies put orders in.
Multiple companies, yeah.
UPS.
They were before Pepsi, but I think what's happening is Pepsi is using it for Frito-Lay, and you don't get anything lighter than potato chips.
In air. No, they're
right when you're shipping half bags of air.
Yes.
So that 80,000 pounds is going to be twice as many chips.
Well, no, they're not going to fill it up by weight. So what this does is allows them to test the distance and test the autopilot and the computers and everything without putting. I mean, because they were Tesla's moving batteries in there, so you got one end is as loaded as it can get, and one end is as unloaded as possible, and then they can meet that in the middle, and they can go and do Walmart, do not Amazon, but everybody else who's in line.
Chips are.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you're gonna get more than 500 miles of range shipping chips.
Yes, I bet you the Pepsi also went for the small battery for the Frito-Lay, so that probably also helps them get to the front of the line. Because if you don't need as many batteries, then you can put that many more trucks out and make more profit.
The 80 kilowatt.
I don't think it's that low.
I just want to sit in one. If they can make it a 3-seat configuration, like the driver and then alternate drivers, I just want to sit in the back and just watch it go.
It's currently a 2-seat. The jump seat is a full-fledged seat that just the bottom seat of it folds up against the wall, so you don't have to feel like you're the extra person in the second seat. Like a what?
Like a cockpit, one behind the other.
No, because the driver sits center and your jump seat is off to your left rear.
Okay.
So kind of like the McLaren, but with only 2 seats instead of 3.
I still want to ride one just because it's going to be cool.
Yes, it'll be fun, and I'm
definitely
excited.
be cool.
I know some trucker buddies. I just got to get them to.
So are they gonna? So is Giga Texas gonna go with the Cybertruck first or the Model Y?
It's up in the air, but it's looking like Model Y at the moment. But that could change.
There's rumors that it's going to be the Cybertruck.
There is rumors. That's what I'm saying. Is it could be either way. But so far we haven't seen any of the Cybertruck stuff other than the presses.
I passed by that place the other day, man. That place is huge.
Yes.
Like, they are really like it's been a while when I go that way, and 1 minute here, the next minute they got this. It's like it is really huge over there.
I'm excited for it.
Plant.
I think that would be where I do my factory tour.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'd love a factory tour of that.
Yes.
I plan on investing in a Cybertruck as far as a business decision, eventually. As far as business, I'm not a truck driver, but I would like to invest in one for that business move. I think it's right. It's the right direction to go for truckers.
Yeah, you can get it. You can get it to haul your fleet. So the light, right? The Lightyear 1 is going to be manufactured in Finland by Valmet Automotive. And this wouldn't be the first car company to actually get somebody else to build their cars. There are all kinds of boutique manufacturers. In fact, the Ford Focus prototype was built by Magna, and I think it's a smart move. Because if you're not already
going to look like,
what
is this actually what's going to look like?
Yes, but all the pieces will be attached rather than exploding.
Okay, so no, I say that because when I first saw this. And we're all going to date ourselves, but everybody knows Knight Rider. If you know the Super Pursuit mode, that's what this reminds me of.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, when it came apart, transformed. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, they've really come to it now.
No, it'll all be in one piece, and
I'll be we're just showing the breakdown.
Yeah, I guess they just thought it was a cooler picture than yet another picture of it going around the track. And as we talked about last week it went around the track and set a new distance record for, what was it, 80 kilowatt hours. So more choices is good. That's what we need.
Yes, more the merrier.
Mm-hmm.
Especially definitely seeing that one. I was excited. I thought that was actually going to be a stock image of like, yeah, you can transform into this design. And I was like, are you serious? I know
that price point.
Different things.
Double or triple it. So GM has now confirmed their third electric pickup truck. That's all we know. It'll probably be called the Sierra. So that means it's really going to be the same as their second pickup truck, but with more options. Because when you look at the Silverado and the Sierra, one's a little more heavy duty and a little more luxurious, and it's the same truck, essentially.
Sierra Thunder or what? No.
Right? The Sierra Thunder.
That's actually not a bad idea. You should trademark it because they're probably going to do that.
It would be cool.
Definitely easy.
It's still probably going to be cheaper than the Hummer.
I know I trademarked my name because I'm sure it's going to get catchy when it gets out when this EV thing picks up. And the way I spell it is why.
Yep. Oh, and one thing I didn't mention on Lucid earlier in the show is they are going to be doing mobile service as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
I like mobile service. I
love mobile service.
Experience that I've had with Tesla mobile service has been way better actually than going to the service center. Like when I first got my Tesla, like 7 years ago, service was phenomenal. Going to the service center, they took care of you. They treated you like royalty. It was awesome. Over time, as they got more and more customers and more cars on the road, the service has gone downhill. They haven't been able to keep up with the demand. They haven't expanded enough and created enough new service centers out there. So now your customer experience is like way subpar compared to what it used to be. But for some reason, that mobile service is still a great experience. When they come to you, it's convenient, do everything for you, and they don't rush and take their time. They do whatever they got to do, answer any questions, any concerns, everything. Mobile service has been awesome.
I love mobile service. So our friends at Volkswagen, they plan to deliver 171,000 EVs. Or wait, I said that backwards. They have delivered 171,000 EVs, and they plan to deliver more. They're talking about their future plans.
Nice.
And
Yay.
It's good to have plans.
That's good. They're going to do in a year what Tesla did in less than a quarter. That's nice. Right. Good on you, Volkswagen. Good on you.
Oh, and so here's what they've done so far. They've done
171K is a real number. That's a decent. I mean, you're right. It's not what Tesla's doing right now. Still,
not even close. Yeah. So they did 37,200 Volkswagen ID4s, 31,000 ID3s, 25,000 e-trons, but not the Sportback, and 19,800 Taycans, but not the Cross Turismo, and 17,800 Volkswagen e-Hubs.
Wait a minute. So this isn't just under the Volkswagen brand. They went their whole family. So this is Porsche and
Audi
and VW. Man, now that number is way less impressive.
Right, and a lot of them were these.
Oh. Yeah, little ones.
Yeah,
that's cute.
That's cute.
I love them.
They're little ones.
They remind me of, they are.
That's a nice little commuter car.
Smart cars.
Like a smart car, yeah.
Smart cars that always get all the good parking spaces that you're like, nah, can't fit.
They're good for that. They're really good for squeezing in the tight spaces.
City commuter. I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, for like a city car or like a little commuter or something that you need to be able to park in the city with.
Right.
Those are good.
The crazy thing was, I'm gonna have to guard to this. I was at a chemical plant, Riceboro, about now 15 years ago, and we saw one of those little smart cars, 2-seaters, and everybody, and I never doubt the ability of a car, but all my buddies that were riding with me, because I was taking them back and forth, they were all starting to laugh at this vehicle, and the biggest dude came out of it. And they was like, dude, what are you riding in that small vehicle? And he looks at us, he goes, I get 54 miles to the gallon. Everybody was like, and they were like, we came in front. That's dope as hell. Like, you don't care about what it looks like. If you can, fill up once a week for it, it's crazy.
Yep. So sometimes we like to talk about the financial advice type stuff. So what happened here is GM is leaving this guy holding the bag for $12,000 after his Bolt EV caught fire, after he did both of the recalls that were done for the 2016 to 2017, 2019
How come
batteries?
I haven't been seeing this story in the mainstream media?
because they buy advertising with GM.
Oh, that part, right?
Yeah.
Whenever it's a Tesla, it's all over, like, all
Yes.
the major news networks, and it's all over mainstream, all over your TV. But GM, not so much.
Right. Well, even worse than this, though, is like I said, they left this guy holding $12,000 because his insurance didn't have gap protection. So if there's a chance that your car will be worth less than what your loan value is, you want to make sure that you have gap protection, or that you are independently wealthy enough to support, in this case, $12,000. And he wasn't. So he had to get a loan from family just to get the GM folks to stop calling him, even though insurance paid off the burnt up car. Yeah.
Okay, but why are we upset that he did not insure his car for the full amount that he should have?
Oh, it was fully insured, but the problem was
Well, it wasn't fully insured if you consider that the amount that he owes on it is way more than what the car is worth.
Well,
I mean,
he didn't have gap coverage.
Right. No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not actually mad at GM. If
and I wasn't either.
Yeah. If somebody wants to pay less and they don't want to buy Gap and they buy a new car, they have to know that as soon as they drive it off the lot, if something happens, whether it's, an issue with the car or somebody hits them, they're going to potentially be in a situation where, if the insurance totals it and pays it off, they're going to be left holding the bag. I'm not mad at GM.
Unless it's a Tesla, because right now the Model Ys used are selling more than they're selling than the new.
Right.
I know.
But you should still get.
Sell it.
Like, I see people selling used
I got a
Model
black
Ys
one
for
stuff. If you
$65
want
grand, $10,000 more than you can buy them brand new.
Yeah.
I got a black one. I can sell you stuff.
Oh, it is black?
Yeah, it is.
It is black with the white interior.
White one.
Yeah, the tow hitch?
It does not have the tow hitch.
What
you just get that afterwards. It's like $1,200.
Oh, but yours has those ugly stickers on it. Those county.
What stickers?
Discount for those.
No, that's my red one. The black one doesn't have the
my black
HOV.
one, my white one, my red one.
right.
Everybody doesn't have to.
You got a fleet over there.
I got to go back to school and become a dentist.
No, all right. So everybody's going to have 2 EVs soon.
That's right. Well, if they have 2 drivers. Yeah.
I know people that have like 6 gas cars. What's the difference? I spend it on EVs. But but the concern though is that you're right, Omar, that this story is not pushed widestream because Chevy buys advertisements. But as people hear about this, it's going to just add more FUD to those batteries are expensive. They won't look into the details of the story. All they'll know is you buy an electric car, the battery catches fire, and it costs $12,000 to replace it.
Yep.
So it's a concern when it comes to adding to the FUD.
It is, and my point of that particular story, I wasn't mad at GM for it. I mean, I was frustrated they didn't help make him whole, but I get it. Is make sure that you have the proper coverage. And in the case of these Model Ys, yes, they are worth more now, but you should probably still get the gap coverage.
I'm gonna push back on you, Casey, on that, because I am a little bit mad at GM on that, because they had supposedly fixed the problem with their batteries with this software updates and stuff or whatever that the customers had to go in to the dealership to have these software updates applied and whatnot. Supposedly the problem was fixed, and then here they are still having cars burn up, and that's a problem. They should have did a full recall and just recalled them and swapped out those batteries from that model year from all the cars that were effective. Yes, it would have cost them a lot of money, but
what Hyundai did.
It would have saved them a ton of headaches, lawsuits, bad press, all of that.
They're still telling people now, don't park your car inside, don't charge it, I think, past 80%, and don't let it go down too far.
Right, and don't leave it plugged in after it's finished charging. Like, they're telling people all these different things to take all these different precautions, and that's ridiculous. Yeah, people shouldn't have to do that. That defeats part of the purpose of having an EV for the convenience factor when it's no longer convenient. Because what do I do when I come home? I plug my car in and I forget about it.
Right. Well, that's what Hyundai tried, and the South Korea said no, that's not acceptable. And so Hyundai and LG is the one who made the batteries on that car. They had to make it right. So they recalled all the batteries, replaced them all, and it looks like LG is probably going to have to do that again here.
And that's what GM should have did to begin with, though. And
Yeah.
I am mad at them for that.
That was the part that frustrated me, but I see their point about the gap protection. But his car should have never burnt up in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
That part.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll get a lawyer and sue and get his $12,000 back.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because ultimately it's a manufacturer's defect. It will be different. A gap protection is for accidents, something that you don't control. You know, this is a manufacturer's defect.
Yeah.
Right.
So speaking of all of GM is realizing that they were insufficient, and they've issued another recall after the multiple fires after the problem was supposedly fixed. So it's not helping. And so from 2017 to 2019, and you know who I didn't expect to give them a little bit of play for? Look at this tweet right here. I did not expect this fellow come to their not that one.
It was Elon.
Where'd it go? Yep, right here. So this fella here made a tweet. So Tesla Roddy was making an article, and then our friend Elon said that large pouch cells undergo significant volumetric change at high state of charge. Even so, the risk of fire is probably less than gasoline cars. There are over 200,000 combustion engine vehicle fires per year in the U.S. alone. It is literally in the name.
Wow.
Is he helping GM or?
I mean,
well, you remember his mission.
He's saying, hey,
his mission.
Right.
They still catch fire more in gas cars, yeah. But that is his mission. Remember.
So he's saying a little bit of both. He is standing up for GM, pointing out that gas cars are worse off when it comes to fires. But he is saying,
they picked the wrong battery.
Battery design. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Like, you guys picked the wrong battery design, but even with the wrong battery design, it's still better than gas.
Right. The way my wife would call it, she would say that Elon was biting them. He's standing up for them, but he's biting them back. Yeah.
But so their whole Ultium batteries are pouch design, right?
I think they are.
Yeah, that's their whole new thing.
Yeah, which means they may still have a problem. Oh, Elon included a link to a PDF detailing all about vehicle fires. It's about 20 pages long. So if you care to read that, find his tweet. And
so I know
he
back
came with
on
receipts.
One night on the happy hour, we're talking about my 15-year-old knows exactly when she can get her permit so she can start driving. And I was looking at the boat for her. It's like, a used boat's like almost free. So, but now they're burning up. I'll tell her to park her car outside.
Right. Yeah, Robert William, it is a little frightening. Some of our folks with these affected cars, like Nikki, she actually put her cars in the front yard, away from the house,
and the trees.
And the trees, yes, the trees.
Man.
Saw a video here on YouTube about visiting the coldest city in the world at -71 C. Oh my goodness! Is that with an EV, Anders? Because even so, that's with gas cars. Whoa! Get off! Somebody filter that message, please.
Got it.
We are not pumping crypto here, so let's not. And yours is 2020. Yeah, that's why I'm not afraid for yours yet, for two reasons. One, that yours isn't in the list, and two, that you don't park it in the house and charge it overnight. So I'm cool with you. But if they start doing it without being charged, I'm gonna be sending you some texts. Hey, what's your Bolt doing? All right, so next one is...
That got to be scary, though, man. You kind of like, worry about the car out there catching fire in the garage or something.
Right. And the worst part is they don't know what causes it. So that's like, if we knew what it was and they just didn't have the parts yet, then everybody would be like, hey, okay, we need to avoid these situations. But right now, the reason that it's most scary to even folks like me who are like analytical in nature is that there's nothing to analyze right now. It's just, hey, good luck. All right, so this one was another Elon tweet. Tesla Tino, we were speaking with him on Tesla on the Life on Wednesday. He had actually tweeted Elon before the show about how the charging system is set up, about how people are questioning that Tesla made their own connector, and they're saying that it's not fair to other EVs, even though Tesla didn't have a choice. They had to come out and because it was sink or swim, they had to have a way to charge their cars they just built, so they made their own connector. And Elon says yes, it was there was no standard, and they were the only ones making long range EVs back then, and so their connector is in the U.S., even in Europe, but in the U.S. especially, it was particularly slim, and it supports low and high power charging. And
so realistically, since they were the first, and since they made the most elegant design to begin with, everybody should have just adopted their standard.
Right.
That should have just became the standard.
So speaking of that, his last sentence is that said, we're making the Supercharger network open to other EVs later this year.
I bet you that's in Europe where they're already using CCS.
Probably so.
Mm-hmm.
They probably partnered up with somebody, which is great, because if another EV, manufacturer partners up with them, then they can contribute towards the expansion of the supercharging, and the infrastructure can get built out faster, which is what's needed. We really need the infrastructure for even more adoption of EVs.
Yes. 010. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, Ref is cool. You want to talk about the brake suspension steering problem?
So
my car's getting a recall on it. So
have they? This is not the first time Elon talked about opening the supercharger network. I mean,
correct.
He's always said that if someone's going to partner with him and help expand it, then he's willing to open it. But he hasn't given any details about what this means. Who is he partnering with? How are they going to help to expand it? What kind of adapter are they going to use?
A lot of the consensus right now is that there isn't going to be a partner. It's just going to be Tesla direct to other EV owners, whatever compatible means. Like as far as if it's going to be like the Mustang Mach-E, where they've got the plug-in charge technology, where it tells it, hey, I'm Mustang 7000, and they just keep up with Mustang 7000 belongs to Dawood, so charge his credit card.
Right.
I wonder
or
if there be any because if the superchargers are going to be crazy slam because all of the EVs are using them, like maybe we could have like a cut the line. I don't know. Like I definitely think that open accessibility is always going to be better than just having it, be a limited number of people that can use it. But I also kind of feel like everyone who bought into Tesla was counting on exclusive access to those, and if that access now is diluted because everyone with the EV can use those same ones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, outside of the West Coast, we when we get to the supercharger, it's almost always just one or two other cars, if any. And if they,
over here, it's usually I've never had.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not never. There was this one time on a holiday weekend, but almost never seen the supercharger completely full.
Yep, and the one time I had to wait that I wasn't towing a trailer was coming back from Hurricane Florence, where one of the stalls was just broken. But if that stall hadn't been broken, it would have been enough capacity for all of us.
And here's the other thing. Elon also said that he's going to increase the supercharger's capacity to charge at 300 kilowatts instead of 250. So if they can charge even faster, now that they have a faster peak rate, which doesn't really help with sustained rate, because what you really need is a higher sustained rate. But if it's 20% faster on the peak rate, it may also increase your sustained rate a little bit as well. So again, if you could charge faster, people can get off of them quicker, and then that will in turn allow more cars to cycle through, and along with the expansion, because they have not slowed down their expansion at all. They're still expanding and adding more superchargers every day. So,
coming from California on my East Coast trip last week, I mean, you guys have the capacity. Every supercharger I went to it's empty. The Teslas out in the wild are far in between. And then here, when I got back on my trip, we're playing Punch Tesla. My arm is getting worn out because every other car, my kids are punching me. Tesla, Tesla, Tesla. And so we have a lot more Superchargers, but we just have a lot of Teslas. We just have a lot of them.
That's the California Camry right there.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, and you're right. Also, once they increase in the charging speed, will make a huge difference. If I try to drive with my X, to go from 10% to 90%, that's an hour and a half.
Well, mine too, but
if you could cut that time down instead of it being an hour in some change, now if it's I don't know, 25 minutes instead or 30 minutes.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a huge difference.
Well, when you look at it this way, the current Model S Plaid adds 204 miles in 15 minutes or 11 minutes?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And imagine if it could charge an extra 50 kilowatts faster.
Yeah. So that's like, but by the time you drive that off, it's time to use the bathroom again.
That's right. Another 15 minutes, no big deal. Yes. So
when you're making 10-minute pit stops instead of 30-minute pit stops, that's a huge difference.
I mean, when you got 4 adults in the car, you can't even make a 10-minute pit stop. It just takes longer for everybody to get out of the car, use the bathroom, get something, buy something from the store. It just, I literally just did this, and it takes 20, 25 minutes to make a stop and turn around and get back on the road.
Yes. So 010 points out that that Omar nailed it, and that Dawood makes a good point about we need details on how this is going to work. But more charging is going to make the mission complete. Yeah. So Tesla China, as Dawood also pointed out, that they more than double VW's Q2 sales in June alone.
Nice try, VW.
Wait, but everybody was saying that Tesla had a problem in China with demand, and that what happened to all of that?
Yeah. Right.
That was only FUD.
So a hopeful North Carolina lithium supplier faces local pushback. Apparently, people are thinking small-minded. They don't understand that a lithium mine isn't an open pit mine for copper or coal, and that's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's skip the rest of that story for now. The Rivian R1T and R1S delays are not going to affect the electric van rollout, which, as we discussed last week, it makes sense for them to focus on their one large fish because you don't want to make Bezos mad. Not when your car's already late, so it makes perfect sense.
I asked my Amazon delivery drivers when they come about how many miles they drive a day, and they usually tell me between 120, 150. Like, this should be an EV. You should have an EV doing this. It should not be doing this in a gas car.
Exactly. Especially all those starts and stops, too.
Right.
So we talked about the SpaceX booster. We already talked about the SpaceX booster. Don't show it again. Sorry. My links got all mixed up when I jumped ahead. So we didn't talk about the FSD hardware 3.0. Well, we did actually. At the time last week, it was $1,500 to get your hardware 2.5 computer upgraded to hardware 3 if you did the Tesla subscription for full self-driving.
Yeah, that went from $1,500 down to $1,000, and anybody who already paid the $1,500 is getting $500 back.
Correct. Mm-hmm. I was looking for a picture on that, but this we got the news article. So now it's $1,000, and
I didn't realize they were giving the extra $500 in a refund.
Yeah,
well, they do that sometimes when they make a bad call. Sometimes they make it right, and other times they're like, "Sucks to be you," and they keep the money.
Yep. When they saw Dawood bought his MCU upgrade,
I mean,
they didn't give me my money back.
It's probably because they literally just launched it, and then they just changed it.
Yeah.
And because it was so quickly from when they launched the subscription to when they changed it, they said, you know what, we'll just go ahead and make right.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Yeah, that's
And
usually how they do it.
They probably have a lot of them to refund the difference, I guess, before it got out there, I would think, too.
Yeah.
Like you said,
Well, they figure they're going to make it back anyway off the subscription. So,
yeah.
Right.
So these are, I'm trying to see, do I fit in that category? Because I have, I have a 2016 with Autopilot 2, and I would need to upgrade to 3, but I still also have to upgrade to full self-driving, which is another 5,000. So I'd have to upgrade to full self-driving and then pay another 1,000 on top of that.
No.
Do you have basic autopilot? Or
No.
enhanced?
No, I have enhanced autopilot.
Okay,
So
so
let me
you'll be
explain
$99 a month instead.
So yeah,
Okay.
let me explain to you how it works. If you decided to upgrade to full self-driving and pay for it outright,
So that's the
upgrade
5,000.
to the newer computer is included in paying.
Oh, okay. I got you.
If you decided not to pay for it outright, but do the subscription model, because you have enhanced autopilot, you actually pay half price, which would be $100 a month instead of $200. But you have to pay for the upgrade of the computer.
Okay, now I got you.
Also, if you buy it outright instead of leasing it, and they decide that they actually need hardware 4 to make this thing work, then you would still include the upgrade to hardware 4. Whereas the people that are leasing it, they, from the way that it's worded, they would then have to buy that as well.
Okay.
And in your case, since you already have enhanced autopilot, if I was going to get it if I were in your shoes, since you'd have to pay the $1,000 to upgrade the computer anyway for the subscription, then you're really only looking, instead of a $5,000 difference, you're looking at $4,000 to buy it. I would probably just buy it. If you're going to keep your car for a long period of time, I would buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to get rid of it soon, then no, I wouldn't.
Yeah. The without the computer purchase, it's a 3-year payout if you at the $99 versus the 5,000.
But to me, it's still not ready until the beta, the full city streets beta.
Right, but remember what Elon said: as more features roll out, the price is only going to increase.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that right now, that $10,000 that people are paying is going to go up to $14,000. That's going to happen as soon as that
the button
is no longer beta and actually is a wide rollout. It's probably going to go up.
The Model
when
Y,
we have the optional button to push. Yeah.
The Model Y I rented in Atlanta was had full self-driving, and it was nice. I mean, that's a couple of things. You got your stop signs. It stops at the stop signs. Which was useful because when you're driving in an area that you're not familiar with, I'm looking around, I don't always notice a stop sign.
Yes.
And the car will stop for me. And then it'll follow a car through an intersection, or if not, then I have to hit the accelerator to tell it I want to go through the intersection. But it won't turn on the streets. I have to control the wheel.
That's what you're about to pay for.
Right.
Yes.
So do you have FSD on the Y that you have?
No, I priced that thing, and we looked at the budget and we flipped numbers and tried our best. And I said, the only way we can get this car now is if we don't do FSD. So we cut it out and said we'll just get it later.
Are you going to add the subscription on the Y?
We'll think about it. Maybe.
You can add the subscription on the Y, and here's the good thing about that: you can add it and you can cancel it anytime. So if you add it today and then cancel it tomorrow, it stays until your 30 days is up, and then you can always add it back later.
Right.
Yeah, and that part is new too, because when they described it on their website, they described it as soon as you hit cancel that it would. And apparently they did the human thing and just made it so that it runs out at the end of the month. Or whatever.
For a month, you get a month, and then
and with the Model Y, you don't have to. It doesn't need a computer upgrade. It already has.
Right, it has the computer.
Car, so you have to add it for the accent Y.
Yeah.
So there was some discussion about that. That one at some point, couldn't it just be for your account, so that any car that I get in, if I pay for it, I have it.
That makes more sense.
Maybe that'll be something when we get our cloud profiles. They'll allow you to. You'll sign in and it'll just follow you, because you can't be signed in.
That would be nice.
Once. Yeah.
Then my friends will call me and ask me to drive because then we have full self-driving.
Yes. So our friends at Rivian, they they were ferrying astronauts to the Blue Origin's first human flight. I don't know that that's anything particularly that they would be doing, except that Bezos, their largest investor, also owns Blue Origin. That part.
Right.
Model S long range has a price increase in Germany from 86,000 euros to 91,000 euros. Substantial. And the Model X long range of about 5,000 euros, wow, to 100,000 euros in Europe in Germany. Yeah. Wow. They keep raising prices. Another reason to pull the trigger if you get it.
It's almost like they're trying to anti-sell themselves. Like, stop ordering them. We can't keep up.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to balance their supply and demand because they're at this point they're aside from the shortages, they're kind of getting closer to that 25% they'd like to hold at. We talked about the new cancellation policy for FSD versus what they advertised. What's this next one? This one might be fun. I don't want you to send me notifications. No, thank you. All right, so we're going to share this screen.
Yeah, at some point, Omar, no matter how bad you want a Tesla, if you get locked into a 5-year payment at these prices,
yes,
should have waited.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one is Eden Prairie. They have deployed themselves a Model Y patrol car. How's that look, Omar?
Nice.
Hey.
I'd love to see more of those out there. That's awesome.
Is that the black you wanted, Stephanie? Can you use that one?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Stephanie might get in trouble with that one.
I had that. Be like, go ahead. Hey, how you doing? Instead of
but at the same time, you'll have you'll have the problem where everybody starts going slowly in front of you at that point.
Right.
And you just turn on those lights and everybody moves over and gets out your way.
That's what you do, huh?
That part. Tesla is now providing the full Tesla ecosystem to third-party installers to accelerate expansion. Previously, you could buy the solar roof or the power wall from third parties, but now you get the 420-watt panels, you get the EV charger, you get the battery backup, and it doesn't have to be from Tesla Energy. It can be from, your local roofer or your local solar panel company. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's about time.
That's awesome.
Ultra luxury automakers like Bentley and Rolls-Royce need to hurry up with EVs, says Autoblog. This is coming from a gas publication.
Interesting.
Yes. They pointed out that one of them, their best car is 20 miles per gallon. It's not even the hybrid. And another one that they were touching on, he was talking about how it did 15 miles. It didn't even do 15 miles a gallon. So.
I saw a H2 Hummer on the road the other day.
Oh.
And I was looking at it and I was just like, man, this guy's getting like 11 miles to the gallon. That was the only thing I was thinking of when I was looking at this Hummer, is like how terrible his gas mileage was.
Yes. So the SpaceX Crew Dragon once again has switched ports. This time, instead of making room for the next Crew Dragon or Cargo Dragon, it's actually to make room for Boeing's Starliner. And it was successful, just like the last one. The reason they put all 4 of the astronauts back into the capsule is just in case for some reason it can't reconnect and they need to do an abort to Earth. Tesla has sold Maxwell to a company called Power UCAP. They kept the dry electrode technology and they sent all of the capacitor stuff packing.
Yeah, they're like, they wanted the capacitors nonsense.
Well, they wanted the supercapacitors.
They didn't want the supercapacitors. They wanted the dry electrode technology. The pundits thought they might use the supercapacitors, and because Elon had previously done work with supercapacitors, and he said, nope. At this point in time, modern, not even future, but modern lithium is enough. What are the places that signs cover the plans? Another item that came up with that is, in fact, Elon was tweeting on it. Somebody mentioned it, and he said, "Yeah, we just wanted the dry electrode technology." There's a potential fix for the YouTube sign-in issue, as well as it's rumored that in the latest versions of the software that are sporadically rolling out, that they've fixed it on their own, so you can just log into YouTube in the car. But this one I found on Reddit. I was going to make a video on it, but if it's fixed in software, there's no need for me to make a video on it, because by the time I get that done and published, I will be getting the update, and I'll waste it hours.
I'll have to test that out when I get my car.
Yep. So it's TYT login. So tytlog.in. It's open source. Look for it on Reddit. I found it in the Tesla Lounge, and you can look at the source code to make sure that whatever you're logging into makes sense for you, or you can wait for Tesla to do the thing.
I'll wait.
Right. And this one I thought Dan would enjoy. It is about eNow is going to power refrigerated trucks. You see that? They are solar panels on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. So they're going to electrify fleets for companies like Coca-Cola and Verizon. I don't know that Verizon necessarily needs a refrigerated trailer unless they operate the data center while it rolls down the road. And then I don't know that this might be enough power for a data center of 53 feet rolling down the road.
So that's going to be enough solar to power the refrigeration needed for the
Yes.
refrigerated truck trailers.
Yeah. So combine efficient refrigeration with solar, and you got it.
Nice.
Yeah. Elon Musk says Tesla will resume accepting Bitcoin under one condition, that Bitcoin gets under 50% combustion or fossil usage. Some folks are saying they're already at 95%, but they were saying that when Elon
how do you know though? How do you? I mean, unless you're just going by what the grid is everywhere in the world, and just say, okay, well, eventually, everybody's going to go more greener. Like, how do you know who's like?
Well, before China recently banned Bitcoin, something happened. There was a flood, and the fossil fuel usage in China for power went up. I think Elon said it was 50% or something to that effect. And so when you could see that, and you see that they were also the ones doing most of the Bitcoin mining, and then you saw when they stopped Bitcoin mining that that the capacity dropped by so much, and you see that how much less fuel China was using for power. I think that's the kind of stuff he's talking about. Yeah.
So we're waiting on China. Okay, got it.
I don't know.
I mean, China banned it, so
exactly.
I'm assuming that if it's not being mined in China anymore, and they have to go elsewhere.
Yes.
The question is, how do we know? How green it is, that the energy that they're using.
I guess we gotta look at the studies.
Yeah,
but I see his point. You don't want to fund your electric system with,
Oh no, I totally understand where he's coming from on that, but
yeah,
I just trying to figure out how he's gonna logistically figure that out.
He must have a method, because
he said there's a trend towards increasing renewable energy with that. So if they make pledges, that could be sufficient.
Yep. So this one was fun. Ford patents the mobile charging solution for EVs like the Mach-E by towing them.
I mean, so first of all, people have been doing that for. I mean, that's not like every EV has regenerative braking. So if it has regenerative braking, any EV can be towed to charge it.
Yes.
So it's not like that's rocket science there.
So there's a photo of me next to a 2007 Ford Focus electric prototype, and I'm pointing out that there's several photos of me with this car because I drove it. I pointed out that it had an RV tow bar on the front, and I asked the engineer, "What's that for?" And he said that rather than go back to the base to charge it. They would hook it up to an F-150 and drag it around the track for about 10 laps. And it would take care of the day's testing, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it works.
Yeah, 2007. So,
I mean, back in, what year was this? 2016, I want to say? No. Wait, it was before that. 2014. With my first Nissan Leaf that I had. Me and a friend of mine, we kind of did a little road trip, and I wasn't quite going to make it to the next charger, and I just had them push me with their car.
Yeah.
Had them push my car, and as they pushed me, the Leaf with the regenerative braking, it like recharged battery enough, and then I was able to make it to the next charging. Like they pushed me for like 5 miles or so, something like that, and it was enough. Besides the fact that we were 5 miles further down the road, on top of that, had more energy.
Nice. So SpaceX has built a 4th Falcon booster this year, brand new, and this hints at a rare production uptake, according to Teslarati. So that's kind of cool. Because right now on the East Coast, they've just been using used boosters again and again and again. So this is probably going to be East Coast, is my thoughts. Tesla signs a deal with the world's largest nickel miner to secure a resource for battery production. Yay. So this is with BHP, the world's largest nickel miner. And it's what Elon keeps saying. They need raw resources.
They need a nickel.
Oh, the nickel battery. Wait a minute. What are they trying to... Oh, they're trying to eliminate...
Lithium. Or not lithium.
Cobalt, right?
Yeah,
So they're okay with doing the nickel batteries. It's the cobalt they're trying to eliminate.
Absolutely.
So, okay.
Yep. So then I've got these nice photos from Teslarati. Rivian partners with Tennessee State Parks for EV charging stations. Let's see if I can't get this picture on the screen. My computer's getting sleepy. It's getting a little sluggish. All right, so these are photos of the Rivian Level 2 chargers. They look nice.
Mm-hmm.
Look, next to a tree, out in the wilderness.
It's an adventure vehicle.
Exactly.
The electricity comes straight from that tree.
Okay, but when the car gonna come out?
Forget potatoes. We got trees. Later.
I love that is someone out in nature with an EV, and it looks like it's a black woman.
Yes, natural hairdo.
I love all of it. Like,
yeah,
cars are not just for city folk, white men, like, Tesla bros. Like, I love that ad.
Right, and pickup trucks are not just for lumberjacks with their dog by themselves.
Right. It's not just for construction workers. Like, we have pickups as well.
Yeah. But and natural places should promote EV use. I mean, when you can get your EV there, and then there's nowhere to charge it to get back home.
Right.
I always, because I go to Yosemite a bit, and I think they should just ban gas cars from the valley floor. And I'm going to get some comments for that. But how are you going to preserve nature with gas cars running through everything?
Andrew says it's powered by lightning. Yes. All right. So this next one is Mercedes is saying that from 2025 they're only going to sell EVs, or they're only going to make new EV platforms. I should say they're probably being very specific with the way they worded that. And then they showed us the spy shot. Vision EQ XX.
So the new platforms are only going to be EV platforms.
Yep.
So they'll still be making the old cars based on the old platforms.
Right, because they didn't say we're going to stop making combustion cars. They said we're going to stop making their platforms. So
yeah, real slick with the word in there.
Exactly.
Are they going to be those like flex type platforms where you can still put a gas engine in it?
Right.
Yeah, probably.
It's electric. It's electric extended range. So then we have the rumors, as Omar was talking about, where Giga Texas will start with Cybertruck instead of Model Y at Terra Texas, and that Giga Berlin is been passed by Terra Texas because of all the astroturfers and other obstructionists. We'll see what happens.
Well, the permits are probably tougher over there.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about Tesla Semi getting ready. So I don't know how I ended up with duplicates. Oh, I know how I ended up with duplicates. I do this throughout the week, and I didn't clean it up before I started today. So this one I thought Steph might enjoy. So this is saying that new energy building codes will save Americans $138 billion over the next 3 decades.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, over 3 decades. Okay.
$138 billion.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot, but I mean that is over 30 years.
This is that. Wait, what kind of building codes are these?
So the U.S. Department of Energy announces energy-efficient new building codes to save consumers money and to help fight climate change.
Okay. There's big fights out here because California requires that all new single-family home have some sort of solar energy production on the roof, and there's fights about that because they're making the houses cost more up front, but you get those savings back over your ownership time in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus it might help with those rolling blackouts y'all get over there.
Yeah, we need that a little bit.
Unless the car is designed to be charged by towing, you can damage it. The cooling system needs to engage, etc. Yes, that is something to be mindful of. If this is your personal car or a car you're responsible for at work, and it says don't flat tow it or don't tow charge it in the manual, don't.
Well,
Right, because
I mean, the car would have to be
situation.
on so the other systems are on and stuff, and you'd have to monitor it and make sure that it, the battery's not overheating or anything like that, because you can damage your system. You can make the battery overheat. You can cause fire and everything else. It can cause problems if you're not careful.
That's why when you tow your Tesla, like with the tow truck, they have to lift all 4 wheels off the ground.
They got to put them on a flatbed. Yeah.
If it's a dual motor car, because there's a chance that it could generate current, and if the system's not on and ready to accept that current, then, like Omar said, it could burn up, and that's expensive and dangerous. 010 says the Mercedes looks like it's smiling. Yes, it did. Oh, so speaking of saving money, how about I save you guys some money? If you happen to have a large yard, we can save $400 on the Ryobi 42-inch ride-on EV mower. Is this working? My screen's going black.
Man, I wish I had a riding mower. I just mowed my lawn the other day. It was a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what?
Yeah.
It's forcing me to get some exercise, so let me shut up.
Does that one come with FSD?
Go ahead, do it.
Does that lawnmower come with FSD?
Oh. No, it comes with human pilot. It's got tank turn though. So Ryobi has 2 of these. Ego has 1, and those are the 2 brands that I know of that currently have ride-on EV mowers. And
so I have an Ego mower. I've gone all electric with mine, but I didn't get the.
Oh, I understated it. I said $400. It's $498. That's almost $500 here. If you're in the market
off. I mean, that's big.
Yes. So let's see if they give us details on it. So, and from $69 shipped, that's not bad because these things weigh a mess. One of our friends got one of these for his yard.
I wish I had
one day only at the Home Depot.
My very first house, I bought a manual mower, the little circular thing that you push and it clips the grass.
You mean like the one like from the 50s that just
I said I won't be using gas. I'll be getting exercise. I use that thing. Ended up getting a gas mower.
You ended up getting a gas mower. Oh man.
This was a long time. I don't even own one now.
Oh, okay.
This is a while back.
So it's like I pay people to do that.
Well, it's funny. I've kind of did the opposite. Like I used to pay people to do mine, and now I went and bought a bunch of electric tools. Electric lawnmower, edger, clipper, all that stuff, and now I just do it all myself.
Nice.
So maybe I can get an electric one and tell him to use that one when he does my house.
Yeah, you can do that.
Could do that.
Let's see if this is showing up clearly on your screen. I don't know if it is or not. So Tesla has once again increased the price of the Model Y and Model 3. So this is after the Model X in Germany and the Model S. So the Model Y long range is now at $53,990, and the Model 3 long range is now at $49,990.
I remember once upon a time when the Model Y was $48,000.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So neither of you guys want to tell Tesla it's okay to change your color because they'll also give you the current price. And the delivery timeline has completely disappeared for U.S. long-range Model Y. He says it's probably just a bug or a glitch.
No.
No, it's
not.
We have no idea when they're going to give them to you.
They can't even calculate it anymore. It's all computer generated. Those estimates.
Yes.
It's so the demand is so high they can't even calculate it.
They're
Like,
just going to
we
change
don't
it
know
to
when you're getting it.
Ask Stephanie. When you get
Right,
your car.
Stephanie. When you get your car.
It'll be next year. The lyric will come out. Still waiting on that.
Still waiting on that Y.
Hopefully it doesn't take that long. So Andy Sly
won't take
points
that long
out.
for you.
Yeah, Andy Sly points out it's actually 55,190 and 51,190 because you got to do the destination fee.
Yeah.
But all cars are advertised without their destination fee, and we should probably change that practice.
Right. We should change that. It should.
You can't.
What the price
It's not
is
optional.
out the door, because
Yeah.
you can't get it without the fee. It's mandatory. Even if you pick it up at the factory as it comes off the line, you still have to pay the destination fee. So, they should be. They should all be advertised with that destination fee in.
Yes. Sawyer also points out that the all-weather protection kit is now available Y from Tesla, and the new updated cargo volume measurements for both the Model 3 and Model Y. So the cargo volume on the Model Y is now measured at 76 cubic feet, and the Model 3 is measured at 23 cubic feet, an increase of 8 cubic feet for both vehicles. And people were asking, how is that possible? If the car changed, or did they reduce something in the back? And then he found out that the method of measuring the cargo volume has changed. Tesla updated the 3 and Y cargo volumes globally, and the measurements are now calculated using what's called the water fill method, as if the storage compartments were filled with water, which is more accurate than what they were doing before, because people always ask, what's a cubic foot? Or what's a liter? How do I measure this thing? Well, you just pour in water, and don't do this to your car because it'll rust. And Cyber owners replied, Ford uses the fill with shrimp and wings method instead. That's terrible. All right, so then there's speculation that Tesla is getting closer to figuring out what to do with India, because they now have added several new languages to the UI, including Hindi, in preparation for the India launch. Yeah. Dubai is making its own fake rain at 102 degrees Fahrenheit. And they're not just doing regular cloud seeding here. They're using drones to electrostatically encourage the clouds to drop their water. Or actually to clump up. And then once they clump up, they drop their water.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yes, we are, Clay. That's not a bad price for an electric riding mower. Paid $200 for your electric snowblower.
Well, it's not $500 for the mower. It's $500 off on the price
off the mower. Yeah.
So it didn't even say what the price of the mower was to begin with.
I think it's probably about $4,000. So that might have been the big one, because I think the small one was lower. Yeah. It's the Cows Corner Electric, and they say the range extenders of the power generator and something like that about new housing. All right. And let's see. So right now everybody's trying to beat the heat. Like, Steph's area is setting up record highs. The Arctic is on fire.
The ocean's on fire.
The ocean's on fire.
California's on fire.
Yep.
California's on fire. Canada's on fire.
Canada's on fire. Yes. New York is under air quality warnings because of the smoke from Oregon. It's like we are in unprecedented times. And so everybody's
how's the air out there?
How's the air out here?
Yeah, is it like, was it smoky or anything from those fires that they had, or?
No, but I'm in Portland, so I'm north of where all of the
Okay.
stuff is, more southern.
Nice.
Yeah.
So our friends at the Westport, Connecticut Police Department bought themselves a Model 3 a little while ago, and they are now sharing with us their savings. Come on. The article calls it massive savings. So here's the Tesla Model 3 pilot car. Here's the next one they've ordered. So I guess they went for a bigger battery or more performance. And here's their Ford Explorer fossil. Is that coming out clearly? So 68 grand versus 85 grand versus 86.3 grand total. And the orange is ongoing. So obviously the Ford makes it up in their ongoing expenses. And their cost to customize, apparently they did the Model 3 on the cheap because their next Model 3 has way more, like double the equipment. And it was still a little bit cheaper than the Ford. I'm guessing maybe having Sentry Mode and etc. like we found with the other Northeast Police Department, they were able to save a little bit of money there. And they both had the same starting price. And wow, the Ford doubles just to equip it before you even drive it? Wow.
Yeah.
More than doubles. It was $37 for the car and $38.9 to upfit it. I thought they were much cheaper than that. I didn't realize it. Wow. And all the people complaining about my taxes. You want to see your policeman driving in a Tesla. You don't want to see them in a Ford or Chevy or a Dodge.
Because they think they cost $150,000 each one.
Yeah, as we talked about earlier.
Right,
Yeah.
that part.
Yeah.
People think they see Tesla and they automatically think, oh, 6 figures.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the
So
vehicle.
I was trying to look at. So the first one was about what, 50,000 or 60,000 totally kitted out.
Yeah.
And then the second one was up to 80,000.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between that pilot one and the one that they the second one they went with?
Well, they did more upfitting on the second one, so they probably put more equipment and stuff in there.
Like this one might be equipped for prisoner transport, where the other one might not.
Okay.
They probably put the cage in the back and all that, which is that.
I mean, if I'm going to jail, I'd rather they take me away.
Right?
View it.
Let me ride away in style.
Yes.
It brought me in. It was so quiet, and every time I tried to grab the officer, he hit the accelerator, and I slammed back.
Like I always said, real G's move in silence.
Oh, so if you extend it out to 4 years, the upfitted Model 3, the middle one, will be $95,800, and the Ford Explorer would be $120,200.
Oh, there you go.
And most cars are going to be kept for what, 4 years or until the lease is up, right? So, I don't think they can lease them because they did all the upfitting.
So what happens with that is sometimes they can lease them, but then they lease them, but they have to buy them out at the end.
Ah, okay. And then they immediately flip it to auction.
And then they turn around and they auction them.
Okay.
And lease more.
Yep.
And that's how the Blues Brothers got their car.
Right. So another call from Mercedes saying that they're going to sell cars, have an electric strategy from 2025 onward. But as we saw, that's probably just the platform. And for our international viewers, the Skoda Enyaq 4 is now available for emergency services. And because I love a good EV police car. Let's show that on the screen. Because you want to buy local. So, if you're in the EU, you want to get yourself a Skoda.
Nice.
They look just like the gas cars.
They do.
Perfect. Yeah.
You know what's different over there that's interesting?
Right.
What's interesting to me is over there they put all those bright colors and stuff on their vehicles and they make them stand out.
Yeah.
They're not trying to go stealth and they're not trying to hide out and hide in the bushes and catch you speeding. They're like, look, here we are. If you need help, come get help. We're right here. Here we are. I don't know. I like that about their style. They have a different mentality over there than we do here in America.
Yes. Redneck Trent likes to joke. So the next one I've got is another Elon tweet. This one was fun. And so all you folks hoping and holding out for a round wheel in your Model S, Elon says no. Fred says any chance of a normal steering wheel option, and Elon just says no.
Man, he's like Henry Ford. You can have any color you want as long as it's black.
You drive however you want as long as it's with a yoke.
Did you guys see catch the Marquez Brownlee review of the?
Yes.
I did see that.
And he's pointed out some problems with that yoke.
He has
a lot of
phantom touching and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah,
there's a learning curve. It takes some getting used to and all that. And,
then
then Elon tweeted. I don't know if you saw this. He tweeted in response to Marquez because he said something on Twitter about it. But Elon tweeted in response that all input is
error.
So eventually, basically, he's saying you're not going to have to do any input anyway at all.
Yeah. Also, he said it was a fair review. And on top of that, I wanted to point out that he was inaccurate where he said that you have to aim for the little horn icon. If you want, and what you'll probably end up doing in an emergency is you just palm the right-hand side of the wheel. So you're just moving over 3 inches from where you normally would if you're a center horn person. And when you smash all the buttons, it'll beep the horn anyway.
Right.
It'd be cool if it would do it on the left side as well, because most horns that don't have a center are usually symmetrical, but not all. In fact, I had one on one of my Volts where the left horn pad went out, so I could only honk on the right.
Oh, and Elon also tweeted that as the car learns from the AI, it will ignore accidental touches.
That part's cool. Yeah, he did say that. Yeah. This one was an interesting statistic right here from Vincent Yu. This is how much it was spent per car sold in 2020, according to Ad Age. Hyundai Genesis, $2,000 per car. Lincoln, $1,553. Jaguar, $12. Lexus, $984. Cadillac, $908. Honda, $183. Mini, $91. Dodge, $78. Mitsubishi, $43. And Tesla at $0. Yes.
Yeah, Tesla puts all their money into R&D and expansion, which is the right place for them to put their money right now. Because I
agree.
Realistically, they need to build enough factories, and they need to keep expanding the supercharger network, and they need to keep doing R&D to make the batteries, better and cheaper, and all the stuff that they're doing. They have to do all that stuff, so it makes sense.
Absolutely.
You can spend money
because if they have this reputation, or people have this false understanding that all the cars cost $150,000. Maybe if they did some advertising, then people would realize, oh, I can get a 3 for $40,000.
Yep.
If they did some advertising, Stephanie, you will never get your car. Ever.
And here's the thing, Steph. You're absolutely right. At some point in time, they will eventually, have to do some type of advertising and educate everybody on their vehicles. However, right now, because just like Dawood's point, because they have way too much demand and it's way more than they can produce anyway, they don't need to advertise, and they need to put the money exactly where they're putting it. And, eventually, as their capacity is increased and they're able to produce enough vehicles, then, you want to go ahead and try to drum up more demand. But right now, drumming up more demand is the last thing they're trying to do.
Yeah. Elon, he would spend money on an engineer over an advertising specialist any day. Yeah, I'd rather hire one more engineer.
But Elon does agree with you, Steph, in that he understands now that it's important to show the public what's out there. So he's going to try and he asked us what we thought about him doing a educational campaign. Not something to sell the car, but to kind of explain that they don't cost $150,000. They don't constantly catch fire. You're not going to be stuck going from South Carolina to Massachusetts, Virginia to Massachusetts in this case. You can go across the country. Those sorts of things. The fact that they offer insurance.
Yeah, I would love to see them do that, like in connection with their outreach for employment and how they're going to start recruiting at HBCUs and start trying to get more employees like of color and women. And I think that an education campaign built alongside that, that was focused on like accessibility and access. I think that could be really huge, and they're not cars that you have to be a fancy California dentist.
That's not me.
Well, Tesla has the same problem that a lot of other companies have, car companies, tech companies. A lot of companies have the same problem, which is they don't have enough diversity at the top. So in upper management and in where really where the decision makers are, they don't have diversity there. And that's part of the problem, is because they don't have the people there to give them the ideas in the vision, to point them in that direction, to say, hey, you should do this and you should do that, and outreach here. They're just not there. The folks are not there, and that's part of their problem. Just like most other American companies have the same problem, but that's
they had a problem early on with Model S where it didn't appeal at all to most females. And then they took in the ideas of what do we need to do to make this work, and they adjusted, and that's why the Model Y is so much, or Model 3 and Model Y are so much better at it than the Model 3 or than the Model S was, because they took that input from the blank slate, so they were able to incorporate everything in properly, versus after the fact. We can do it with advertising, which they don't advertise, so it's really hard to do it after the fact in that case.
Yeah, I remember when they first did the reveal of the Model X, they were comparing it to minivans.
Yes.
And that was the comparison. And they were like, this is, your minivan, but it's better.
And nobody was looking for a minivan except Dan.
Everybody wanted an SUV.
Except for Mini Dan.
Hey, I didn't say that part. You did. So Breakneck Trent has a really good point. Is if you're reaching in an emergent situation for the center of the wheel where the airbag's about to come out, you're going to punch the airbag, and the airbag's going to punch you harder. So it's best to not be reaching for the airbag, and that's a good point there, Breakneck Trent.
That is a good point in a panic situation. Maybe if you're not reaching the actual airbag itself, that's probably better.
Yep. And so Dan says they need to look past the college level to hire. And that's actually something that they are doing with the Tesla. I believe it's called the START program. It might be the STAR program, where they reach in and they train folks on a vocation, and they train them how to service electric cars. And then at the very last semester of the program, they train you on Tesla electric cars. Because then what's going to happen next is if you graduate from the program, you are more likely to get hired into Tesla, into their technician program, or their management track, or their body shop program, depending on where your school is and what your school trained you on with the START program, where they have a need. They're expanding the service center, and so I think that's pretty cool, because it gives you a good vocation coming out of school if you're not going to go the college track. Me, Dan, there's Model X Dan. That's right.
There you go.
And Robert Williams says,
Model
sure.
Next.
Model Next. Let's see.
It's funny. Somebody else. I was talking to someone the other day, and they were talking about the Model 2, as they called it, or whatever. And I was just like,
don't call it 2.
I'm like, no, it's not. It's not that. I'm like, it's not going to be called Model anything. I'm like, if you want to call it anything, call it Model Next. It's the next model that they're going to make. It's going to be the $25,000 car, but it's not going to be called Model anything. They're going to call it something totally different. We don't know
cool
what it's going to be yet.
Like Cybertruck, but not obviously. Don't call it Cybertruck, because that's in So in South Africa, BYD has delivered their first electric buses, like transit buses. So
nice.
Yeah, we need more public transportation, and it'd be nice if every time the bus took off from the bus stop, it didn't leave a black cloud of smoke.
I was in Colorado 2 years ago, and they had electric buses downtown Denver.
The Proterra or the BYD or both?
You know what? It was a full-size bus. I don't know the manufacturer, but
we have
it's like
electric buses here.
Yep.
But yeah, they had electric buses there, and I was
Poland,
surprised. I was actually impressed. I was like, "Oh, that's great! They have electric buses here." And what's interesting about what they were doing is it was a free service downtown, so it was like all the way up and down like the strip downtown. You could ride the buses all day, anytime, on and off, anytime you want. It's just a free service that the city was running, and it was off of electric buses.
Nice. I mean, it's the right move. I like it. So they also point out that Elon Musk is planning to test the demand in India through imports before committing to a gigafactory. So you may have seen that Tesla's coming to India, and everybody assumed that meant they were getting a gigafactory because they have a lot of people and they have a lot of workers. So if you want a gigafactory in India, prove you need one. So buy a car, and or you know, if the people that would be served by an export from India would buy a car, then that would also do the trick. And it's better than what they do in some of the other countries where they just don't bother.
Well, I mean, India's a big market, though. There's a lot
huge.
of people. They have the second most populous country next to China. I mean, so that's a huge market.
It is.
It's just.
So I mean, they're definitely going to need some Model 3s, Model Ys, and Model Nexts.
Mhm.
I mean, look at what Tata did. Tata was selling like a bare bones, cheap old car, and now they own 2 luxury marks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it can be done, and they've got the demand and the people for it. Elon says that FSD Beta 9 is to receive several improvements and be updated. So we're going to get 9.1 to the fleet on Friday at midnight. The question is that just the testers or is that everybody? Is that the button? I want the button.
Give me the button.
Yes. Then I've got another video for you guys. Oh, no music.
Let me know when you get the button, Casey.
I'll let you know when I get the button.
2
All
weeks.
right,
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
All right, so sorry, I'm getting this video set up without us getting kicked off of YouTube.
I think I should
Pause that.
rename my car 2 weeks.
Hey, that's what Black Model 3 did.
That's going to be the name of my new car. 2 weeks.
It'll be here in 2 weeks. All right, so now that I've got this screen share set up, I'm going to share the screen. And this is in China. We saw a couple weeks ago, we saw a Model 3 from the outside going through floodwaters. Here's what it looks like from the inside of a Model 3 going through floodwaters. Don't try this at home.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Vipers are really
deep.
working.
That was deep. I'm just like, I don't. Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, don't try this at home. And once you start, don't stop. Because
Yeah, definitely don't stop.
yeah, you can see the other side. But again, if you can't see the bottom, you shouldn't be doing it. Turn around, don't drown.
Right.
I like that.
But as we see that, there's no water intrusion. We saw one at the beginning of this week that I forgot to put in the list where you could see the car is using, as Elon said, it's using the wheels for rotation, and it's throwing up a huge rooster tail. And
Yeah, but I mean, now you have a flooded Tesla.
right. Well, in his case, he was already in a flooded Tesla. The tunnel flooded on them, and so he just drove out while everybody else got stuck.
Well,
So,
I mean, look, an emergency, if you have to, it's good to know that you can, but
can do it, but you should not do it.
That's not ideal. You really don't want to be doing that.
Yes.
I would posted an update like, does this car still run?
I would like to see that.
I would like to know.
Because I doubt that it will. I mean, I had a movie that it was like Hurricane Irene, like on the East Coast many years ago, and I had parked it on the street and it got flooded, and the car was totaled just because all the electronics are in the floorboard, and so I can't imagine with that high of water that
remember there was a
ran
flood.
too many more days after getting out.
Yeah.
I remember a flood, I think it was either a year or 2 years ago, I forget now, but there was a flood in Texas. I think it was Houston. And I remember there was a bunch of flooded Teslas that ended up a result of the huge flood that they had there.
Isn't that where Rich got one of his cars?
Rich Rebuild.
Matter of fact, Rich Rebuild got one of his Frankenstein Teslas from there.
Yeah. My favorite from that one was the guy who put his car in a bag and it floated. And so it didn't get any water damage. Yeah. All right. So this one is, I guess, Rivian trying to make sure that people don't just like tear them to shreds for their constant delays. They're showing off the car, not just the car, but the R1S. So it's not the truck anymore in this case, at Moab on a really steep climb. Let's take a look. Well, apparently a lot of people looking at it.
Casey got that Wi-Fi.
I do got that Wi-Fi.
He don't have Wi-Fi. He got Wi-Fi.
All right, let's go back and reload it. Maybe didn't like that I paused it in the middle. Or maybe I switched access points.
I don't know.
I don't know what just happened there. It's reloading. I'm sorry. So, well, is it doing it? Oh, there. Oh, I didn't want the pictures. There we go. I wanted the Twitter.
There you go. Now it's playing.
Total Recall movie. That is really steep. Oh my goodness.
That's impressive.
So it looks almost vertical.
I mean, any other vehicle probably would have flipped over.
Yes. Let me. I didn't realize the audio was there. Let me stop and restart the share so you guys can hear that. That
was impressive.
Yes. All right. So screen, tab, share audio.
I wonder if the Cybertruck can be will be able to do that.
It better. All right. So listen to what you hear of this car climbing. A little bit of wind noise. And he's up.
All you hear is tire screeching. That's it.
Yes. Yes.
Silence.
Can you imagine how good that's going to be? Like when you go to the park or whatever, and they're doing like the 4x4s, and you don't hear just engines going all the time. Yes. All right. So one more thing to share with the crew, and after we get off the screen, I've got something to share with the panelists. Let's see here. Screen, Edge tab. So Tesla is preparing the robots for the Model Y at Giga Texas. We see a Model Y. Then we see that's really high up. It's interesting that all my ads are still local, even though I'm not local. And so he's got a probably 30-minute video you can watch on it with a spy shot here of them running the Model Y through the factory. Pretty cool stuff. What do y'all think?
I think maybe that's a
body in
sign
white,
that the
so obviously
Model
it
Y
has
will start. That might be a sign that the Model Y might be the first vehicle coming out of Giga Texas instead of the rumored Cybertruck.
Cybertruck? Maybe.
So I'm trying to figure out what is that picture showing. They finished the car and they just pushed it off the side to get it out of the building.
So they're calibrating the robot lines, and so that's a calibration unit.
Okay, is that made by Groman? Is that Groman's robot?
Groman is making the line. The robots probably come from all the same people they get their current robots from. Mm-hmm. And then Groman will make the arms and the line, and they do pretty well with it. I like it.
Cool.
Look at the 1990s Cavalier effort. Yeah. Oh, nice. So what do y'all think about, do we want to make a chart and see who thinks what's coming out first with the Y or the Cybertruck?
It's gonna be the Y. It's gonna be the Y. The Y. I mean, they're already making it in Fremont, so they know how to make it.
Yeah.
The demand is already
Shanghai.
there.
Yeah.
Huh? And in Shanghai, true. That's right. Whereas the
and it's not reliant on the 4680 cells being ready.
True. And have we seen another Cybertruck besides the prototype?
No, we haven't.
So they've got the one.
Right. The one.
Oh wait. We saw the one that couldn't move on its own.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be fair.
So again, they got the one.
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna be fair. I ain't gonna cheat because
He's not. Oh, you're not gonna cheat.
He's
got some inside info for being a local.
Right. Okay.
But like I say, hey, them NDAs are serious with Tesla, man.
Oh yes.
So I don't want to ruin my friendship.
Right. So
say less.
Right. Well, even worse is if that person that does know something is like, you know, they do at Apple sometimes where they see everybody's got a different story and they know where the leak came from based on what the story was.
Based on which story leaks out. Right.
Yes. So Breakneck Trent mentioned that they already had a Cybertruck on the second floor, though. Probably a spec vehicle for reference. Yeah, because
that one that they had on the second floor, I think was
that was Elon's car
when the prototype was there.
Yeah,
right.
They drove it up there.
Yeah,
and pushed it off the side to see how it.
Well, I think that was Elon touring what was already built.
Hey, Elon, we're gonna do walk the factory floor. He said, "Can we just drive the factory floor?"
Right.
Actually, Trent, you're right. I think that would probably be the way they do it, where they both come simultaneously, and then you got Shanghai and Berlin making Y. You've got Austin and Fremont making Y, and Model 3 is also coming out of Shanghai. And
has any of you guys seen the Cybertruck in person?
I haven't.
I'm just wondering, like to see a truck that big, and your mind automatically goes to a diesel engine rumbling, and then it just hisses away nice. Like just a
have you seen it in person? You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen it in person.
So from what I heard, it's like the same size as a F-150, supposedly.
It's still a pretty big truck.
But still, yeah, it's a full-size truck. It's not
right.
Yeah.
You know, it's got a 6.5-foot bed. It's not a tiny. It's not a Ranger.
Right. Yeah. You know? just the juxtaposition of something so big, and your mind already has an idea of what it should sound like, and then this is just the opposite.
And there's no rumble, right?
Right.
Exactly. So if you want to be like Dawood and join the memberships, I've got a little video for you, and we'll catch you all on the flip side next week. And then, like I said, panelists, I got something to show you after this, so we'll catch you as well.